Jokers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
Welcome back everybody to EPIC38. We are here yet again for Valorant Beacon, the first event in the circuit and the final game of the evening. We've been treated this time to a best of three, a couple of one-sided matchups that Cairo and I have covered already today, so it'll be nice for a more extended affair, perhaps not into the late reaches of the night, but at least a little more prolonged than some of our previous encounters.
Yeah, it certainly has, but has it mean you're used to late night Valorant? We're used to the occasion, and well, no better occasion than this. We're now in the playoff stage of this event, and I mean, we have an absolute banger coming up.
Yeah, if we look back quickly at what the format is as well, of course, you have those two groups of 8, best of 1, all throughout their round robin. Now we head to the playoffs, so it's best of 3 the entirety of the way through to the final. No best of 5s, no weighted advantages, nothing of the sort. Simple, standard Valorant as we like to enjoy it, and we'll be starting out in the upper bracket. Some teams have made it into the lower bracket by default. The two groups of 8 teams are split up by 4 and 4, 4 which start in the uppers and 4 which then begin in the lowers. So we will be starting off in the uppers, and the game we'll be casting is Clique Esports versus JOKERS.
Yeah, two really big teams. Clique obviously top in their group. We never saw much of them. In fact, we never saw anything of them at all. So that's going to be a little bit interesting to see how their play style is, the breakdown of the team. But we did see a bit of JOKERS, and we know exactly how they can play, and we know exactly what is on their team.
We saw a bit of JOKERS, and we also saw mixed results from them as well, I think it's fair to say. Went toe-to-toe with Control, who also looked dangerous against Insight in their own right. A lot of these teams trading blow for blow here and there, and I'm really curious as to see how this matchup goes, because I have sort of 2 different versions of how this plays out in my mind. One of which is that Clique will just walk through it, right? It won't be a problem for them. Their came out of their group 7-0. Arguably, I think the weaker of the 2 groups when we consider that as a whole, but at the same point in time, this is a very capable team, and we expect them to do damage. The second eventuality is one where JOKERS can make this difficult for them. Whether that results in a win or not, I'm not sure. This is a team that has good LAN experience, good experience towards Division 1 of Beacon as well, and the potential to make a deeper run. But it is just potential at this point in time, and I don't necessarily see all the parts of this puzzle, falling into place as it stands.
But it all comes down to map pool. What are these teams most comfortable on? Is the pool that is similar, or are they the exact same? Because if you're playing into your opponent, then your opponent might have the upper hand if it comes down to certain skills or strat books, etc. This is something that we need to consider, because we're now in a totally different aspect of the game. This is best of 3s. There's no flukes now. There's no best of 1s. Oh, we just had a bad map. This is best of 3s. You have a second chance to reset and come straight back into it.
And I think as well, best of 3, while the best of 1 can have sort of a fluke result here and there, if that's what you really want to call it, best of 3 extracts that map pool a little bit deeper. So if you are a team like Control, I think, which is fair to say, who are comfortable on like 4 different maps, but then can tap into, to that deeper pool, I think that will definitely help you out in the long run, being sort of comfortable on playing a few there. Speaking of comfortability, you've just sort of loosened off a little bit.
I was just going to say, now that we're in the playoffs, just like I'm going to take off my lanyard. These teams need to take the shackles off. Get ready to go. Get into it.
Take off the practice wraps, right?
Yes.
But I think you put them underneath the boxing gloves anyway. It depends if this is like a black market street fighting with like, you know, who have we got here that's like, you reckon Retro just tossing a couple coins onto the mix, you know? Is there like two bulldogs scrapping out or whatever?
I don't think Retro's a betting man.
You don't?
No, I definitely don't. I know Retro. I know Retro likes to I guess pay people to do stuff like no, like karaoke. Jeez, that went really wrong.
Moving swiftly onwards. In terms of this map pool, if you want to hazard a guess and, you know, avert your eyes away from what those bans already are, in terms of what you know about Jokers and the maps that they like to play on, what are you expecting?
Well, let's have a look at Jokers and think of the team and what it's comprised of. If you were to, I mean, everybody looks at a team, you can go, that's the Fragger, that's the Sentinel, that's the blah blah blah. We have 3 IGLs basically on the team, and if you have 3 IGLs, it's going to be a team that can thrive on maps where there'll be a lot of problems. Haven, Lotus, I mean, all these sort of things, and I think that's what's something that can really come in through from Jokers.
I mean, this is a big talking point, and I think it's one which the players raised themselves. And they made a statement of the fact that it is comprised of 3 IGLs when you look at how they're really built. But at the same time, we've really seen Comet step into that role more than anyone else on the roster. We have Azzy with experience at ITB, but then you have Comet as well, someone who's played analyst roles in some of the biggest teams within EMEA in the past. So obviously that game knowledge, we're in 2023 now. It's been a while, but you know, the knowledge is always there. You have a good backbone to this team, and just looking at some of the calls that were being made against Control as well, the fundamental understanding of the game that this team has is second to none. It's quite simply, you know, a combination of then that mechanical ability as well, and how that translates in the server when you're playing as a 5.
I think with Jokers, it's that old saying where it's like each individual piece isn't worth as much as the whole package.
What it is you are as strong as your weakest member. Maybe that would be a more cruel way to put it, I think, when you consider how the team is, because there aren't any outliers in any of these rosters. All 10 players in the server competent in their own right and competitive at this level. But I guess it's a different conversation to be made then when we're looking at how those pieces work together. Just to quickly speak about Clique as well, because we have sort of not delved into that one too much. You have 2 different cores here, essentially. You've got the ex-Duck Gaming represented Genke here at EPIC38. It would have been last time around in the previous Beacon tournament. They got pretty far. I think it was a 3rd place finish by them in the end. Looked to push that lower bracket as much as possible, but it was Lupetti Buffon that actually made it through into the final and then ended up winning the whole thing. You're looking at Jamie and Rex from that position, and then on the opposite end, you do have Jamie coming in from Jamie's and Co. And I believe, I want to say it's Kurt as well, but he's flipped his name around to Truck. So
I respect it.
Yeah.
A little bit something different.
I think one other thing to mention about this Clique roster would be that you have players maybe not playing in the roles that they would usually be expected to. Like, I think Kurt has been on quite a bit of duelist, which is different, because I remember last Epic he was playing Fade almost exclusively every single game, and whoa, we have the map pool now, so we can't speak about it.
Yeah, we certainly can. Fracture and Split straight off the board, but Hazza, it is our first time casting Lotus in a competitive environment. We have Lotus, Icebox, Peril and Ascent Band, and a Decider Haven. So we've got 2 of the 3 site maps, in the pool potentially. Yeah, and we don't have the logos up for you here, but I'm fairly certain that it is Jokers that have picked into Lotus. We saw them pick into Lotus, or that was the best of one of choice, right? Between them and Control when they played it earlier on. I'm not sure how that will play out. If we could maybe get the bands, the maps back up again, we could delve into that a little bit further. But if we have it there, So we're starting out on Lotus, the attacking team. I'm guessing that because they picked into it, it'll be Clique beginning on the attack, and that actually works fairly well. I think it's fair to say here for Jokers, because
on your attacking side, really, sometimes it just feels like limiting the amount of information that the enemy team is able to get about how you're playing. It's why double controller is so strong, because those spawn barriers are set in a way that enables a lot of early possession of the map towards the defenders if they so choose to take it.
And there's so many choke points, Hazza. I mean, one of the big things that we've saw when since since Lotus has started to develop from the kind of upper T1 level is a big neon pick rate. I mean, there was a little bit of theory crafting that Euro was going to be strong, which he is, but Neon the strongest just because of the way that those relay bolts hit down I think it's the A-long area.
Yeah, I feel as if we're doing a classroom project right now. Any Yoru players in the class, I don't think we're going to see a set of hands raised on either of these teams. The Neon, I don't think either. From what we saw actually last time when Jokers were playing this, they played into a double Sentinel, so the aggression was actually coming through the chamber pick, who does have some viability on this map because of how the chokes are so tight and it sort of twists and winds like a maze. There are plenty of different places that you can put the rendezvous where you're able to challenge a more aggressive angle and then fall back or go for a rotate, whereas the other maps, you know, like a Breeze, for example, not the same as it used to be.
No, it's certainly not. Another thing to potentially...
I don't know why I've said Breeze, it's not in the pool. But you get what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. There is a lot of picks, and the biggest one in terms of the initiator front, Sky's really been coming through quite a lot, which is something, or an agent that has really fell out of the meta, but without any like real massive buffs, has come back in.
Yeah. I think it's just that general shift of how things are turning in general. The operator as well and how much usage that tends to be getting has shifted, and the roles in which we see it picked up quite a lot of the time. Actually, players on a Sentinel or like on an Initiator as well. I think recently on Apex we saw Enzo on the Fade picking up the operator quite a bit. Kiko, the duelist in that team, is sometimes playing through the Phoenix or other more aggressive roles, better with a rifle in hand, so you put it on a more secondary offering if you have it available to you and if you want to make that investment, because of course it's the most expensive weapon in the game. All of this is theory crafting. I believe we are ready to send it into game, and we can get a look at how this is going to start. So Clique beginning on the attack, the first map Lotus, the second Icebox, and then our decider map Haven. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little kind of collection of maps. I think Icebox will be the most interesting.
Yeah.
I think because when we look at Lotus, we think towards what could happen in terms of that. And do you know what, Hazza? I don't even need to ramble anymore. We're going straight in towards this one, straight into the Agent Select.
Let's see what some of these picks look like. It will be Azzy yet again on the Chamber, I believe, and then, we have Bully on the Killjoy as well. So it's having two Sentinels to sit back on. I'm not sure if there's potentially a window to a Cypher pick here. Killjoy is the better of the two agents on the map. We've seen this demonstrated in a few games around Challengers level as well. I believe it was Fireflux had a game that they were playing in, and they picked into the Cypher, one of the few teams that has actually used it on this map, but Killjoy happens to be the favourite. The tight chokes mean the nano swarms are more valuable. The close angles on the map as well means that the lockdown can get even more than it would usually be able to. And here we go. On the opposite side, it's double controller here for Clique, so they're playing with something a little bit more on meta.
Well, remember, Hazza, the way Lotus tends to play out in general is obviously the attackers have a lot of manoeuvrability, a lot of kind of faking presence, creating that kind of general... I don't know, playing those mind games that we see the IGLs play. And I think Jokers are going to thrive in that, but they start on the defense, and they're going to have to get a read on what Clique want to do exactly.
It's the kind of thing where, similarly to Haven, B sometimes can be a little bit of an afterthought in how you choose to approach the game, because it's just not the best for a post plant, not really something that you want to work 90% of the time, but there are certain areas of the map where control is very important. We'll have to see what Clique is trying to prioritize. Right now it looks to be towards C Mound, but some rubble presence I think is always a must on your attacking side, whether that is just a quick show and then dip, but we'll have to see.
I think if you do show towards A already, quick control taken up by Jokers, as we can see. The Omen just positioned up, and they're just going to leave it.
They've traded orbs here already, so we have seen Azzy pick up the orb towards A and then rotate into the C play, but this is a fake. Rex is just going to be, chilling here, has been playing on the Killjoy as well as the Viper, but will pick it up for the double controller in this comp. I'm not sure if the Paranoia is going to hit Comet here. Certainly hasn't been cleared just yet, but finally the Trailblazer does spot him. Will have the Shrouded step away from things.
Yeah, that's a really nice position up. The Paranoia just delays, but not for long, as Jamie takes out Comet. First, a nice first pick, and it's the controller as well.
This is a great position to be in if you're Clique right now, because they've taken the kill on A, they can cut noise, sit behind those smokes like I said, and it's a complete guessing game for Jokers. With that door broken as well, there is the opportunity to rotate in towards B if they want it. We will just have to see if that gets taken up or not.
Big gamble putting the chamber on the Sheriff. Not even buying up that trademark that's really good for control. And speaking of control, Rex is taking all of C. Contact taken by the turret though.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the turret's able to spot over the top, but it has done. The rotate coming through, but Bully needs to buy them a little bit of extra room here, and he'll do that first kill onto the second and the third! Bully is bossing the C site right now and could even find an ace for his troubles. Jamie will cut that dream short, but the dream that Jokers could make something a little more against a 7-0 team has only just begun.
Clique become victims to Bully, and that C site has a absolutely perfect head after head. Jamie gets the trade, but I mean it matters not, especially after the kind of start Clique had to that round.
An absolute melting pot of a round. Things look to be so slow, but Jokers on the C defense were pretty stripped back. Like I said, Bully needed to find something in that instance, and Clique, their decision was to take some extra control for the post plant. Do you want to sit back and play from mound? It's not ideal. They were looking to maybe take towards spawn. It's either that or waterfall, usually one of the two, but that's what it ends up being. Bully punishes, and now they go back to square one.
Remember, some teams are just best of 3 teams. Some teams just thrive in that chaos. Whisk. Oh, they're just bust out. They've just bust out completely. They're taking the control of the C site. And Bully, Jokers, they're not really going to contest because they can do so just from the spawn positions. Truck at least gets one back on towards Bully, but it's a 4 versus 2 and not many upgrades close by.
Oh, Halsey needs to be careful here. A stray shot to connect is all that he requires. Such low HP already, and Halsey will make it 3-2 for Jokers, and that one cleaned up fairly easily in the end. I mean, it looked worrisome, right?
Yeah.
But they had it under control.
Yeah.
It's almost a technicality the way that I say that, but I think they were quite happy to invite pressure towards the site because it's from those deeper angles that the weapons they have are contesting fairly well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time, as long as Jokers have control of that plateau sort of defender spawn area, where they're rotating through, then the retake is just made a lot more doable.
I think as well, Bully being able to hold that site, the KG utility came in through massive. I thought the burst through would have been a little bit more impactful with the likes of a flash or something, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. Clique now, prioritising A.
And then just denying this information yet again. This is how you have to be playing it from your attacker's side, just slowing down the pace where necessary, taking as much ground as you possibly can. Rex still on this flank towards C, which is being checked intermittently by Comet. But there's no real commitment towards A just yet, and Bully still holding on to this lockdown could find value. The biggest thing for me is you don't want to commit it too early. You don't want to show that hand before it's necessary.
I don't think committing it on this round is specifically
I like
needed.
this.
As he just getting a little bit aggressive, but they can't pick up Rex. Is they able to escape?
You had the fault line, the Paranoia in the late round to just clear things out, and this will give them more information. Rex still lurking, as he still hasn't spotted him out yet. Bully trading shots with the opposite end of Clique, who are still just slowly pressuring in towards the A site. They get the spike down uncontested, 5v5, now the lockdown comes to play.
I don't know if I like the investment, Hazard, but I'm sure we'll find out the answer.
Bonus.
Whisk now in this situation, close to the door. Well, 2 players are waiting to bust through, but look at the crunch here. This is going to be massively impactful. There's at least 2. Comet gets them. Rex, though, trades it back. We're down to a 3 versus 2. After the lockdown's gone, the players are able to do the work. There's only 1 left. It's all up to Inno.
Oh! And Bully gets it. Bonus round converted for Jokers, and things just looking so healthy for them right now on this map. I love the investment of the lockdown. It's a bit of a risk, right? You put all your cards out on the table, but Bully is a gambling man, and he's come up big yet again, because in that situation, it forces them into more predictable angles. Comet has the Paranoia, peeks out off the back of it, and does brilliant work.
Yeah. I was just about to say, I got caught up on the Inox pick and then...
There's util there, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if it was the paranoia, in fact. It may have been invested earlier to just get Azzy out on C long and make that clear. But Jokers, they're playing for control when they need to, right?
Yeah.
They can be more defensive on A because you have the lockdown to fall back on. They're able to aggress C into the late round just to make sure that they have the information necessary to levy that stack on your bonus. Yeah. Now we come into a round where they have that gun advantage.
I mean, the interesting thing here is because Lotus is so new and we really don't have it really felt out entirely. We can't really say what bias the map has, because I've seen maps where defenders have played better, I've seen maps where attackers have played better, and we can't really judge what's happening right now.
You just got to play it by ear, and I think Clique running a double controller here for the time being, at least, is very on brand with what we've seen in a lot of the more higher tier VCT locking games from the few that have been played on this map.
As well, this position here.
This is nice. Yeah, I mean, Jokers have made good of this, managing to get in towards the site. The only issue is the Jokers still have the control that they need. Housy's holding this position down, and now Bully, a familiar spot for him too, comes to join in. Kurt will cut that short, but that is all. A singular kill picked up. Jokes make light work of it, and that one will be added to the collection.
Fantastic work there by Jokers all in all. And do you know what has it? They've even been able to buy up an op, put Azzy, a chamber on the op, especially on when you look towards A. That's massive control that they're going to be able to make. And they get a completely free shot. It's not like a jet dash. They won't be put themselves in an all-right position. They'll be completely free to get out of there.
Because Jokers have a breach and Clique don't, in terms of the utility you have immediately without any stuns to try and collect that possession towards Root and Rubble, it's it can be laboured of an affair at times. And this is fairly minimal in what they've brought in already. You've got the Owl Drone to just chase up Azzy all the way back to the bowels of the site. And the operator won't be having as much value as it did. But that trademark sitting in the corner is still doing a pretty big job. Haven't heard anything from the rotating doors just yet. Comet needs to be careful about getting caught out on the C long here, because that could then potentially move into a split through the rotating door on B. The lockdown coming through. Comet thinking about challenging this one.
He's going to go for it. A lot of utility invested in towards this one to try and at least get something, but Rex engaging just at the wrong moment, just misses out on Comet as they start to walk backwards, maybe thinking that this could be an A take, and it is. C.
Yeah, it is now heading in towards C, and the kill is found. Good information gathered by Rex, and it translates to finding that one. Inox flashing through, but unaware of Kurt. Sat in the middle of the smoke and oh, too happy to be finding that kill. Now a 5 versus 3, Jokers on the back foot. The first gun round that we've seen, and Clique have got it when it counts.
Well, Clique, the games they've been playing has been absolutely excellent. I made Jokers double think, triple think about where the push was coming from. Even the Sova was still stuck on A when the spike was planted. Halsey now moving through, and the chamber can't do much from this position. It has to be all on the Sova at this point. Has to do something, and Rex is close by, lurking in the depths. And well, look at that. As he sees the depths, sees what potential monsters can be lurking by, and decides against it. Drops out all the way on towards B and saves that op.
Yeah, luckily for him as well, nobody is going to be chasing up this operator whatsoever, even just waltzing around the middle of B. Headhunter in hand, but Clique have their first. Able to find that gap in the defense finally for Jokers and punish it. It was really nice the way that they went up B, but didn't full exec into the site. Like I said before, the post plant there, not ideal, can be a bit cagey, it invites that pressures from Jokers. They still have the Hunter's Fury online as well, so it's a good one to combat, then back through those incredibly tight chokes like we were speaking about too. So just having the B control and then being able to use it to move towards C, especially when you get that pick onto Comet, was huge for Clique, and we'll have to see how that continues to develop in the later repetitions here of their attacking side.
I think something else that we need to talk about, Hazza, is when you're talking about B, you also have to take the similar traits from B on Haven, how you have to go and take extra control, whether that be towards the broken door, up on platform, or even in towards B to C link. That's something something that you need to think about.
We're seeing Azzy posted up as well here, just towards Waterfall with that rendezvous. Like I was saying, one of the reasons why Chamber can be a viable pick on this map is because of the being able to traverse through walls in certain areas where it's found convenient and pick off a kill. Has to be aware of Rex in the corner, but there's a nice setup here for Jokers towards A. If Clique do bite into this, look to go for the exec, there's so many layers of utility that lay in wait, so we'll just have to see what the play is, and it does seem to be that they're going to head in towards Tree, and Bully is just so prepared for it.
Yeah, that's that info dart just pinging away. The paranoia perfect. And that is going to be the aftershock, just in case anyone was going to be on that orb.
Yeah. Like I said, you still have the alarm bot and another one of those swarms up, and we're into the last 30 seconds. It is crunch time. The Seekers can spot out a couple players, but they won't open the door by themselves. The broken door, on the other hand, is already gone, and now this is the entry point to B, which Clique will be looking to move through. As he's still sitting outside that C-long position, won't have too much impact unless he rotates round. It is a 4 versus 5, and there is the Hunter's Fury I spoke about. Gets both pings onto Peter as he plants the spike, and Jokers now have a real advantage to work with in their retake.
Yeah, that was a big ping, big kill as well. Results Clique in towards 3. They have a Hunter's Fury of their own if they want to play for it, but it's not advised. It's not advised at all. Has a truck getting up close and personal, but Bully, he's even more personal. That's position. Rex completely found out, dug out, and that's going to be another round for Jokers.
Bully just getting this halved. I think for a moment there we had Azzy animated in his chair as always, just taking a moment to sit back before the defuse ends up coming in for Inox, getting a little bit closer to bringing in the Rolling Thunder, which I don't believe we've seen so far in the game, but it hasn't been a necessity for them. You look at the setup on A, and Clique didn't really do too much testing before they decided to send it straight in towards Tree.
I'm going to pose another question. I don't think that Hunter, or pose another statement. I don't think the Hunter's Fury in that last round was needed as much. I think they just tried to play for a little bit of scramble, try and deny the plan. Nonetheless, it worked out. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just posing the question. Realistically, Jokers have been in so much control of this match that I don't think that was needed.
Yeah. There we go. As he finds one, looking for more, and he'll get it. A Kalata bringing him up to a third, taking them apart one by one, and Animated as he has another reason to be up in his chair, up in arms, bearing them with absolutely no discrimination towards Clique right now. A 2 versus 5. When the Hunter's Fury invested, it was a 4 versus 5 into a 3 versus 5, but the advantage even greater, and like you said, you don't need to invest it.
Look at this space round about the 2 remaining players of Clique. They have nowhere to go except
perfect.
through the door.
Yeah.
And if they go through the door, everyone's going to hear it.
The foot of Jokers is placed firmly upon the neck of Clique right now, and it very much feels as if Jokers are the ones that have to make the slip up here if this round is to head towards the attacking team. I think they understand, or at least have some idea of how much map control has already been compromised, as Inox is just drifting in towards the door, perhaps readying the fault line off of the C contact, and I think this is probably a bit better of a play when you look at the double stack that you have just outside of A. Has to be the decision of C, realistically, if you want to go for it. There is a chance perhaps to move through that double door, but I mean, it's just saving the weapons at this point in time. It was all Azzy, and it still may yet to offer a little bit more for him. I think he's hungry for the ace at this point in time, and you know what? Fair enough. In comes the push. They want this one swept up, and they'll do it. Flawless from Jokers. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
Mate, the patience as well. If I'm Clique, I am pressing that tack timeout button.
Yeah.
It's just a way, again, it's something that I bring up every single time that I talk about it. It's not the rounds that have been won, it's the manner in which they have been won.
Yeah.
You look towards this, and when could you actually pinpoint, apart from the rounds that they lost, a round in which Jokers were completely out of control?
Another interesting point to raise here as well is that we look at Bully as a player, and in series gone by, sometimes, you know, if he's not feeling himself, not having the best game, there is a chance that Jokers struggle, or E-Masters it was in the Div 1 finals, when they were playing at their best, when they made it through the upper bracket to that final, was when he was performing so greatly. And showing like that in a game like this against Clique is just so promising for how things tend to go. Azzy yet again with the opener, still holding firm, looking for more kills. Fault line coming through, knows Rex is close, but still can't deal with him. Really nice kill taken up. and that should be control of the site.
Should be. Also an operator in the hands, and that's actually a player with full shields as well. So it's not an easily taken down operator.
Look at this as well, though. The spike is only just coming in, and already the Jokers have had a chance to ready themselves. There are the kills, and they immediately swing back. Beautiful stuff in the retake from Jokers, and it's just that pause that Clique took in getting the spike on planted that allowed them the extra yard or so that was necessary. Bully now investing that lockdown. There is a Viper's Pit, but you know, you don't invest it at this point in time. This is an eco. You're already stripped so far back. The fault line may even chase these players before they're able to exit. Rex has found a spot at the back of the side, but steps forward from the paranoia. Bully is able to take him out, and now it's Kurt. 1 versus 3.
I don't even think it's worthwhile talking about. It's interesting, though, that the decision from Clique was not to send the operator to Mound, but actually to keep to put the sheriff on Mound.
I think that's one way of picking it apart. I think in that situation, Rex has picked up the op. He's going to hold on to it, wants to make sure that you're not having that immediate challenge come in from the plateau area, as we have seen so many times. But rather, the misstep is the amount of time it then took for the spike to end up going down, because in that hesitation, the players get themselves into place. The utility comes through, which negates the effect of the operator, and Jokers are just activated. They've been able to do it so many times, and they prove it yet again. Oh, look at the early aggression. Whisk even trying to away, but as he denies, another first pick for him, and he'll even double up. Here's Comet looking to get involved, and everything's falling apart.
Everything is falling apart. It's 3 versus 2 here, and the Omen's even able to get away. Truck just left picking up the pieces, has to pick up the spike, and look at this position on C.
Bully in a very nice spot towards Waterfall here. The turret yet again just about spotting Rex over the top of the toxic screen.
Viper's Pit.
In a perfect position to do damage here, and we have the Killjoy ult coming in. Kurt maybe not anticipating Bully to be so close, but can find the necessary adjustment. Inox up on the plateau. Just waiting in the corner. Here comes the plant. Will go for the spray. It is perfect. Manages to find Kurt. Pit's still up, but spike not yet planted.
It's not only that, though, has a spike not planted, but the lockdown finally gone. That little bit of protection that Rex has is gone completely. There is the fault line. It does come through, but no one's going to be there to capitalise on it.
Yeah, we're even seeing Comet invest from the shadows just to join his teammate in this position. Rex wants to play around this ultimate. It's one of his few win conditions on the round, but it's just biding time for the time being to see how this one is going to play out. The information that both players were playing through the defender spawn side, through the plateau side, has now gone cold, as we're seeing this double group up in through Waterfall, but the decay can be huge.
The decay can be, but look at the positioning. Look how they've absolutely read this. The fact that they've decided, like, let's go around the long way.
Turned.
Yeah, and Rex is not going to read this at all. Finally, maybe we'll see a flash of red. Does so, but Inox is there for the trade. That's perfect, and that is lovely from Jokers. That's what you get when you have so many big brains on one team.
Yeah, right. I mean, we had the quote earlier, do too many cooks spoil the broth, but right now, I mean, we're feasting. I think it's fair to say. It hasn't necessarily been anything overcomplicated. This is just a team where you can immediately see they understand the main principles of Lotus. Yes, it does look, for the most part, to be a little bit more sided towards those defenders, but yeah, Comet actually just bringing in a timeout here to that one simmer.
Yeah, I think after that last round, the kind of a couple of mistakes that happened, a little bit of over-aggression or whatnot that allowed Clique to have that foothold on the round. Just Jokers are like, look, let's sit down and talk about it and make sure that we iron out all the little mistakes.
I think a lot of situations where Clique have been having success, and you know the scoreboard tells one story of that, have been through Kurt and Rex actually. In those more lurky roles, being able to find little pockets of space which then an execute can be built from. It's about having that pressure in the early round, but not getting so sucked into the fight that you're losing so many members early on. Azzy has caused a lot of issues here. I think Jamie needs to make sure that we're getting all of the recon that is necessary, and that goes for Peter as well, on both of those initiator roles to just dissuade the op that we did have previous. Now on the Vandal, of course, but I think, moving those in the mid to late round and finding those gaps is what is going to really help them out.
Another potential issue that Clique are dealing with right now, is they don't have any tip towards the spear. They don't have that little sharp edge. There's no duelist. Potentially that the kind of losing out on a movement ability or something of the like is something that's causing them problems.
They've just swapped this one around as well, actually. We've instead had Inox take the first contact so as he can re-peek with the disguised tour de force for only a moment, but nothing can get past Kurt, it seems, right now. If you're Clique, that is the main man for you. Comet with the paranoia up close en route, hasn't been cleared, hasn't been stunned, and has a chance to take a few down with him, but won't even get the first. This is the entry point which Clique really needed, and they do just seem to be running away with it.
Jokers have really started throwing scraps towards Clique, and they're making a meal now. They're making something, and they're making it work.
Brilliant.
He gets one back. There's a couple of trades back and forth as the Jokers end out, and a really bad turn of it. 1 versus 3, and it's Bully, who has been good. But is this a Bully moment? Is this where Bully starts collecting his bodies even more?
I mean, Bully's bodies are stacked up pretty high right now, but this has to be something ridiculous. Still has 2 nanos towards the site. Could get that first little bit of chip damage going, perhaps, and will set them off. This will hold the players for just a moment longer, but not quite enough to turn around. Result, of course, on its own. A 1 versus 3 awaits him. And yeah, it is a tough ask in this situation, but we will just have to see.
Clique could invest the Seekers here just to confirm the round. I wouldn't hate it, to be honest. And I think
I get that.
Yeah, and on top of that, looking at this, Bully has so much eco that he can just send it and see what happens.
I think the Seekers is probably a little bit too much here. The main thing for me is that Clique did decide to group up as 3 and then go towards a site, instead of just leaving a gap for Bully to maybe isolate a fight, but he's already done it. He's found one, a second as well, doesn't know where Rex is and hasn't cleared as he sneaks round the side and finds Clique their second. Even then, the fact that he's able to find 2 astounds me.
Hazza, you were talking about an animated Azzy. I was getting animated myself after that second kill. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
How Billy was able to find it. And look at the stats. 17 and 6, nearly close to the next lockdown once again. The fact that they're getting so many frags, controlling the map, and bringing this huge, impactful ultimate online again and again.
I think he's just fed up. It's like the Homelander speech. He's seen his face plastered all around the walls of Epic Land after that interview that we did, and it's hit a boiling point. Bully is boiling over, and he's ready to get going. Nice off angle from Azzy. Getting tested once again by Kurt. Steps into the alarm bot. So much utility there. Fully blinded, and won't even rendezvous away. The only one that dips in and out is Kurt, and he's found 2 kills. The first couple entries going the way of Jokers, or the way of Clique, I should say, for the second round in a row. They could convert it last time, but we'll have to see how this one ends up.
Halsey's just standing their ground at this moment in time, and they're very quickly able to get back in towards the site. The Seekers now come in. That's 2 big ultimates invested, and I mean, realistically, when you're at 3 versus 5, I mean, Bully's still alive. It's maybe not as good as I was going to say.
Yeah, still a difficult retake to be made. I think Halsey has to go huge here. The bulk of the players are waiting for him outside the broken door, but it's just a very slow peek round the corner. Whisk much, much faster, and now it's Bully 1v4. Couldn't do the 1v3 last time around. This would be something else if he could, but I am just expecting the weapon to get saved, as for once it is starting to look like Jokers are hitting a rough patch of form. I mean, it's only a couple of rounds, but you have to try and put a bottle on it, because if you lose the next one, the final round and a half, and then go into the pistol without that confidence, it slips here or there, the game is immediately back on and you're sort of within 1. It's that snowball of factors. Not saying that just because they've lost a couple here, it's already game over, but it can very, very quickly slip out of reach. Yeah.
I feel as if Jokers have just, as you were saying earlier about having the foot, they're kind of easing the pressure off a little bit. Clique are starting to get that little bit of momentum, and at least into this last round, they'll have an ultimate, being the Hunter's Fury, and full buys.
That's how, in some ways, I would have liked to have seen the timeout for Jokers come through after these last 2 rounds instead of before, because it feels as if Clique have actually taken that opportunity up to rectify how it is they've been playing. In fairness, as he loses losing out in an opening duel has been a difference maker on the last couple. Comet does get traded here by Halsey in a rubble, and that is one of your controllers gone. So now the only facade that they can sit behind is going to be the candy-painted toxic screen of Rex towards C.
I think as well, and from that has the fact that both Omens are gone, both teams on equal footing, and it will just be straight gunfights.
Yeah, for Jokers, I don't think it's as worrying. For Clique, as I said, it gets rid of that mirage that they had to sell any kind of fake or presence. It seems as if most of the times here, Bully has had Rex's number in terms of fighting them together on the site. An adjustment of the turret even as well to make sure that any movement on this wall isn't going to be turning a negative result. And Kurt yet again finds a kill. And it's Azzy. And Rex has played him all the way around. Ring around the rosy, Bully taken down, and things really shifting into the favour of Clique now, as already that space taken by Kurt will be built upon.
Yeah, the breach is just re-clearing in towards the defender spawn, but it's Halsey that we're focusing on right now. It's Halsey that needs to come up massive. As the spike gets attempted, Halsey's head is being seen, but the shots may have given away the position of Truck, and unfortunately not going to be. Rex takes out Inox, Halsey gets taken out by the Hunter's Fury, and Joker's taken 8-4 half.
Yeah, it's been an interesting half, I think it's fair to say, Cairo. Jokers, they started off fairly well. They really built on that bonus, and then it was just one round here and there, a sandwich between 4 actually that they had. It was 8-1, and now Clique have started to show a resurgence. They have the defender's side to try and work with. That double controller setup means there's even more cloaks and smokes and mirrors and veils of sorts that they can sit behind. But we'll just have to see. A pistol round here for Jokers, I think, might just be enough to send them on their way, or at least in a more positive direction. But if Clique pick this up, things are starting to look a little bit shaky on what is Jokers' map pick.
Well, they've already done what they needed to do. Potentially could have had more, but an 8-4 half is very respectable. Now on to the attack, where it's them to set the pace, them to set exactly what's going on.
It was a 7-5 attack that they had against them, against Control. A different level of opponent as well when you look at the precedent Clique bring with the fact that they are #1 seeded for their group.
Yeah. #2 overall as well.
Yes.
I mean, that's nothing to be scoffed at either.
I mean, they have the #1 rated player in the form of Rex in the tournament currently.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on what the rating is, but the man said it himself on Twitter, so it must be true.
Well, at this moment in time, Hazza, I mean, not the most high rated in the server, let's be honest.
Not at this point in time.
Definitely not. Whisk already looking to drop off of C. There is still the KG lurking by. The Omen actually still stays there.
Yeah, and look at this Viper Wall actually from the aforementioned Rex. It cuts across the choke of B, and it also gives a lot of early pressure to A, and that's pressure which Jokers have respected. There's no real follow-up from it, no capitalization, which has left Peter entirely isolated as the sole defender of A, and Inox will find the kill. So this is big room now, which Jokers have to work with.
A huge first pickup as well, Hazard. The flash is gone. That re-clearing ability of the Trailblazer, if that was in pocket, gone. Now, at this moment in time, a 4 versus 5 post plan, definitely in favour of Jokers.
Jamie, average Jonas has a lineup to work with. I don't think it's come to anything as the dart flies in. Here comes the utility and the retake begins to begin. Here comes Rex, finds the first one, traded out by Halsey, kills back and forth it seems, but Clique are getting what they require. Nano Swarm still on the spike, but he gets shot out, and this forces a fight to come out from Jokers, drawn into the position of Jamie, who's just sticking this all the way through, and they don't look to go for the kills. Through the box, there is no spam from Jokers, and that allows Clique in through the door.
Hazard, do you want to know what's even worse about that last round?
What?
The fact that not every single one on Jokers were taken out. I mean, that is a massive economy loss as well.
It's a tough one. And now looking at the way that the post plant was, it was split between two ideas. Are we setting up from tree, or are we setting up from long? Or from rubble. There was a real sort of hedge in the bets because the spike was planted for tree, but the players that were left remaining weren't occupying that position. This time around, it seems to be a split in the direction of C. Killjoy utility there, as it was for Jokers on their defensive side. This isn't particularly one that you favour for Jokers, but they do have Sheriffs.
Yeah,
as he was tearing apart Control with his Headhunter in that previous game.
I mean, we need to see it again, Hazard. We need to see the chamber come up trumps. You need to justify it. You can't justify it with one half because you're going to use an op. You may as well just use a jet at that point. At this point, it is the anti-eco though, so the Headhunter, yes, is a good weapon, and yes, it's essentially a Guardian, but I mean, you're still at that disadvantage.
You're not even using the Headhunter here anyway, because we do have the Sheriff brought up by Azzy. Yeah, it's a slow approach. Dark cover coming down. Rex sending in a snake bite. Things just rolling over here for Clique. I mean, everywhere that Jokers go, there is some utility to stop them. And it seems like right now they're looking to fake the A pressure and then move in towards C. The problem is Peter has not bit into this just yet. Both of those swarms are still up, or Kurt, I should say, wasn't dissuaded by that first contact. Here they go.
Here they go indeed. Whisk. The paranoia comes out. Oh, they're all stuck in utility. It's just a complete cut down. Nothing to get excited about, and certainly something to get depressed about is the Jokers. Well, they're just getting completely wiped out. As he left, are they realistically going to want to find anything here? Will they even have time to find anything here? It doesn't look likely, as Hazy sends himself in towards the site and can't find much.
Oh, you see the Clique players backing off as well. They don't want to offer a kill, and they want to make sure that Azzy is on an awkward buy coming into the next one. It sort of reduces the credits a little bit. I don't know math, he's bought an operator.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, in that last round, even though that not all of them got wiped out, the spikes still went down. So there's that, that kind
barely,
of offset.
Right? I mean, we're looking at the difference of about 300 credits there.
Yeah.
But yeah, has bought into the operator. I think more than anything, doesn't want to give away any ult points, I suppose, right? Didn't want to go for the fight, make sure they keep all of the weapons. But now Azzy on the operator. From the attacking side, we'll have to see how this works. I like the immediate dark cover that we see here that Comet has been using. It denies any scans from that recon as there are shots going deep from Whisk. Still unaware there's a player up close.
Yeah, already the steps being used to get out Hazard. Comet re-clears. Paranoia being used up actually, and doesn't get anything from it. Jamie going to re-clear this with the L drone. And I don't think it goes deep enough to actually find out where people are on the angles. That is a big investment.
Yeah, that is the warning shot from Azzy's op as well now. So Clique know it's something they have to respect. Speaking of respect, we've seen a little less here from Jokers. They've moved up on A, already taken a lot of ground away. Not dissimilar to what we saw in the pistol round, but it's different in terms of investment. Kill still being picked up as he does get challenged by Jamie there, and, well, is the one to win out. Spike not yet planted, rotate coming through. What do Jokers choose to do? There's enough time to send this elsewhere, but it seems like they are set on making A happen.
Certainly does. They're investing into this one heavily. Yes, the players on the side of Clique don't have the best weapons, but they certainly do when it comes to close range. Comet gets a double. Oh. The Sheriff taking out the hands of Truck. Their head also off. Jokers on 9.
That is the bonus for Clique, so we have to remember they didn't have the better guns coming into this. In fact, they had the far inferior ones. Peter still good for, you know, 1 kill there, but yeah, they were sort of sweeped up right at the end. It was pulled from beneath their feet, and you keep the operator in play for Azzy. I'm interested to see how he's going to mix this up. I think it's probably going to be used most likely to just make sure there's no initial challenges towards that C mound, get a bit of control there and see what they want to work with, because right now it seems like any A control here for Jokers is an afterthought, because the expectation from Clique is that they want to go there anyway, and well, the dark covers they've been using have been selling that fake.
A lot of the presence on C site from the two anchors has been very passive, because they know they have the KG setup and the likes of the Paranoia to play off of if they really want to go for it. It's an interesting point here. They will have heard all the utility going off. A big investment. Truck gets Azzy though completely not. What? What? How has he managed to do that? Triple kill and only 1 player left. It's Bully out on mound. He did not have any right to win those fights.
A spray transfer, like something out of this world. A space transfer, I guess you could call it.
Oh, God.
I have absolutely no idea how that's happened. And look, if you wanted that breach stun to get a buff, that's another example that you can add to a very long list, because I have no idea how Kurt has turned it. I mean, everything was there. The shock dart to break the nano swarm a little bit deeper, the TP that immediately follows off the back of it, Comet's shrouded step, and then somehow Kurt, from the most compromised of positions, can turn 3 kills, turn the round on its head, and now put Jokers within 2.
Is this the piece of straw that broke the camel's back? Or is this the joke that made the Jokers laugh too much? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know at this point in time, because there is a lot of sad clowns sitting in this LAN hall right now. I mean, that round should have been guaranteed. That kill should have been at least traded out at the very minimum. I can appreciate 1 kill, but the fact that all 3 get taken out.
Let's just look at it once again. The first shot comes through, and just as the smoke expires, I mean, Kurt could have been on for 4 there if Rex hadn't taken the additional kill.
Yeah.
We said that there was an outstanding player in the server. Now there's 2 of them, both of the Killjoys, showing us exactly why we play this agent on the map. I think perhaps a little bit more has been played sheerly through what gunplay they can offer for us, rather than how the utility is affecting things. But, I mean, point made all the same.
I think the utility has also been pretty impactful. You think of all those players running through, they all got hit up, although the spam, not good. Whisk completely taken out, and it's that fake presence, that retake ability with the paranoia as well.
It's an overextension, for sure. Off the back of the recon, I guess there's reason being, but just the anticipation of positioning from Jokers and the sheer numbers they were posted up in that area makes it work out for them. Clique just looking for that re-clear towards mid. We do have Azzy posted up. This is a brilliant timing. Should be a kill onto Jamie, but he's just around the corner, peeks out into the crosshair. That's the kill they needed. This should be C under siege right now, because we're already seeing the rotate come through. Doesn't look like Clique have bought it on the defender's side just yet, but it'll be too late probably before anyone else other than Rex can get themselves involved.
Well, Rex completely stunned up, can't actually get into the site. Basically a walking, talking piece of information gathering. As the 2 players rotate long in towards CT, there's already a trap line in wait.
Rex is a spy cam with a pulse right now. They know the Waterfall is compromised. Azzy just trying to perhaps look for a player pick off here. Has the Headhunter, which will probably do a better job than the Phantom would in that situation, but still isolated by himself. Clique just running riot straight through the center of the site. We have a setup a little bit deeper. They look to go that distance and challenge it. We need this Killjoy ult broken if the chances are to be improved, but Comet flips the odds on himself. That's now double digits, and within the last few rounds, Jokers finally starting to come back to life.
Well, Hazard, it certainly is a reason why you plant for Mound. The fact you can combat the fact that you can combat a lockdown and still contest Spike is absolutely massive. The op rebought up by Azzy again for this next round.
Yeah, I think there as well, we see Halsey initially go for the counterplay with the lockdown, but then actually pulls out of the ultimate and then goes for the gunplay. Make sure that the players are doubling up, the doubling up, and the buddy system is working as it should. And I'm speaking as I should. But yeah, Jokers found the rounds where they needed to. There was a point where this game was 8-1. It went 8-4, and then, well, I think it was about 8 to 6. So it got very close, but they are now starting to pull away. And around here, I think gun round versus gun round, the last of which Clique will have for a while, if this is to be the case, could just be enough to secure their pick.
I think Jokers also don't have a lot in the back pocket. Don't have much in the savings.
Yeah.
Massive presence towards door here. There's been a ping going out. You don't want the op to peek that. You don't want the op to peek that. Oh my goodness, Halsey just completely rescues Azzy there. There's one more player in towards the site. Make that 2. They're making this quick, although it could be quicker. The players are going to get taken out with a double kill. Whisk comes up massive. Paranoia just held, although the players in towards door do the work. Bully elsewhere gets 1. Make it 2. Wins out the round.
Azzy activated there by Halsey. It was a Operation Protect the President as he was escorted into the B site. Then the struggles begin to appear. Whisk at the triple, but Bully comes up big to close, and that's the 11th they needed. The buy now incredibly ropey for Clique, but they want to force into this. Absolutely everything put on the line. 2 Phantoms and 3 Spectres is as much as they can possibly get. Lose here, and you're looking 13-7.
Could be 13-7. Easily the next round could be a trampoline.
I guess perhaps there is the loss bonus slowly creeping its way up. So you go for 2 half investments. Worst case if you lose this round, but I don't know how I feel. We'll just have to see.
I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like these next 2 rounds could be a bloodbath. Rex already tries to aggress him. They did get punished for it before, got tagged up slightly, peppered with lead. But
we just saw the Shrouded Step invested there by Peter, I believe it was, just looking for some, or Whisk, sorry, looking for that information towards just outside of Rubble. This was the attacker's spawn, but it's not going to do too much. Now we're seeing a reclear come in through Clique, and they are actually looking to test this side of the map just outside of a moments before a conundrum is building on the C site. With the lockdown in hand, Bully looking to set this one off. It's going to be a fast flank. I'm fairly certain they have to worry about their backs here, Joker.
They don't have any utility set up for it at all.
No, they don't.
Yes, the lockdown's ready to go, but Truck, they've not left. They're playing the scorched earth policy, has it? But is it really scorched earth? This is completely winnable by Clique.
Falling apart at the seams. They need to take that control towards defender spawn right now. Move in through plateau. Inox needs to get away with something. Finds one, looking for a second, narrowly unable to do so. Bully for the 12th. This would be the biggest of big clutches to come up with, and he's fallen all the way deep. Has the turret for the immediate contact and steps away into the shadows. The Seeker will chase him up. They know about it. Spraying to get the nano, but they won't reach it, and he's actually popped it.
Popped one. Just a little bit of delay, hoping for a bit of luck, a swing, an isolation, potentially just an opportunity to make it work. Nobody coming from behind, all the 2 in front, but Bully doesn't know this. Already on towards the spike, Bully doesn't peek straight away just in case, but they think they're coming from Waterfall. A nice reposition from Rex though, and the Clique managed to make it work.
And Rex gets the kill just when it's required of him. 2 versus 1, but Bully looks to be counted up for more than the sum of his parts right now. Truck as well. I mean, Kurt, I guess we really should call him. Finding 2 on the Spectre. One of the weaker guns in what was a very mixed buy. It comes up good for them. Still not fully invested. A couple of light shields, a Bulldog here and there. Whisk as well on that dastardly combo. Joker's in with a chance of sending this over the line, but they've got their own economy to contend with. This one getting very messy for both teams in the late stages.
It almost feels to me, Hazza, like... it almost feels like that was a little bit of desperation and it just paid off. A gamble to stay within the lockdown. And, I mean, Jokers completely did not expect that. Not even anticipated. And that's the problem. You need to anticipate for every outcome.
Seen the Viper's pit put in towards pillars there, just outside of B. Rex will sit pretty. We have control on C, being bought as well by Kurt. So there is a heavier stack towards A, and they have an inkling as to where this may be the hit coming through from Jokers, as they are going to just double down and send it through with the weapons that they have. Nice Hunter's Fury towards the backside off of the flash. Bully taking the kill as Peter gets flushed to the open. Jamie flushing them away one by one. The wet ground of the A site is littered with even more blood. 3 kills already, a 2 versus 3, but Joker's not in the worst of positions. The spike in the open won't help them. Halsey has an upgrade, however, and as he's posted up on the tour de force, it's gone the complete opposite way, and Joker's get it.
Fantastic work, Hazza. Being able to fight their way to the end. It ended up very, very scrappy between the 2 teams, but see, sometimes a scrappy finish is what we love. Back and forth like a metronome. And well, Clique Esports may as well be ornaments at this point, Hazza. Gnomes if you want, because they are really leaving themselves up to the task.
Joker's up now 12-8. There was a point in time where that lead was a lot more substantial. Clique have found a way to get back into this game, but maybe a little bit too little too late, because Joker's now 1 away, and it's another very poor investment. Whatever they could possibly try and get. Rolling Thunder and Hunter's Fury traded. A difficult situation to try and manage. As he just going through blind. Completely solo, and Whisk very happy to pick it off.
Very, very disjointed somewhat. Remember, Jokers, while they do have great players, they are not a fully they're not a fully formed team for long.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah, this really is a mix coming in, whereas Clique, you know, you've had players who've been on multiple rosters together previous. I mean, so have players on the Jokers side, but the tone is a little bit different. They've been pracking and scrimming for, you know, however long. And the work seems to be paying off. At least Whisker's done the majority of it in this round so far. Bully can pick the spike back up. Nobody's guarding it. The information not there. 30 seconds or so left on the clock. A decision must be made. I think they might just want to hold on to these weapons and sit back in spawn, because this one isn't looking like too much left going in the tank. And to be honest, I don't blame them. Too late for a lockdown to commit towards B. Don't want to give up those guns, and also don't want to give away any more ultimate points when they have an advantage in that department of their own.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the min-max of rounds, Hazard, what you can give away, what you can take, etc. We are seeing a little couple bits of utility being sent out just to clear corners, see if they can find anything. Only 2 upgrades available for the side of Clique, so their economy still not amazing, but there will be enough.
I mean, Jamie's still going to be on a Spectre here unless they decide to buy up into a better gun, which I think you would anticipate, because you're on the cliff's edge right now if you are Clique. You're on the Clique's edge, I suppose, right? God. Because every round is going to count from this point onwards. Jamie doesn't even have enough credits to invest to it, really. Could maybe get a Bulldog off of Whisk, but and even then you're clutching at straws. Well played by Jokers to just turn their head, respect the fact that they were outplayed on the previous, or just beaten out in terms of firepower and the way they look to breach in towards C. They have those ults to fall back on now, and an idea's surely been conjured up in the downtime between action.
Okay, Comet re-clearing, not to be advised, already picked up. That's a massive loss, because now, if you're Jokers, you don't know what's happening on A main. You don't know what's happening on B main. Peter completely wiping out the 2 players, and Joker's grasp is slowly but surely just letting go, getting weaker.
Yeah. I mean, you can that grip, it's loosening, right? Yeah. Round by round. Now we're down to 3. Realistically, looking at 2, and I don't know how many of those are full buys for Jokers. Realistically, only 1. I mean, Azzy will hold on to this operator, no doubt. I don't think Clique will be looking to chase it when you consider the situation of their economy, but it was just that window moment which Comet was looking to try and get something. The shop window, right? An opportunity presenting itself, but just one that couldn't be claimed, trying to get a timing off the back of the Trailblazer. The reaction is, okay, let's see if we can take a kill on B and send a bit more of that pressure back in towards Clique's court. But Peter deals with it brilliantly, picks up both kills, and yeah, we're back to the same stagnated standoff that we had towards the end of last round.
As me and you were begging for an overtime earlier, and well, this one certainly looks like it could pay out.
I think if this one goes overtime and Jokers aren't able to see it out, then it's even more worst case, because then you don't get your 3 mapper. I guess it depends which way you want to look at it, right? Because it very much feels like right now Clique are on an upward trajectory and Jokers are doing just about within their means to get by. I don't think we're going to see a full investment from them here. Out comes the timeout. Bully the one to call it, but I imagine Comet will be leading that discussion. They have a couple of opportunities left. Probably a half here into a full on that final 24th round. Just have to see how it plays out.
In terms of the orbs available on the map, Hazard, there is 3. And let's have a look at the ultimates. Halsey, away from, I guess, when you think about it, if you're to invest into the ultimates, right, Halsey to get 3 orbs would bring them within 2 of the Hunter's Fury. What ultimate would you gamble on here? Yes, you have 2 big ones, but you have an opportunity to farm for more.
I'm not sure that you're even looking to play into an ultimate here necessarily. If you were, maybe go with Inox because of the fact that the Rolling Thunder can be strong. But within 2 rounds, picking up 6 orbs, you might as well just get the guy to kill 5 players because like you're clutching at straws at that point. Realistically, Bully has his own lockdown. You can counter it that way. It's just about finding that opening. We've seen a couple times now, Jokers look to move towards C. They got, you know, small bits of presence here and there towards B and A, but it's not really come up for anything, you know, for them. I think these A hits that they were doing previously, like towards the pistol even, and then in the later rounds that they were able to pick up, were the more valuable, the more prosperous. And then even then, look at Rex's wall. He's put the toxic screen even deeper than it was before, which will just make it that little bit harder.
Yeah. Willing to concede the space has it all the way up to this point, and I guess this is probably the deepest it could really go without giving away too much in terms of, for instance, an ultimate or the likes. But look at this, they've already bust through. There wasn't much to contest from Clique. I would have thought they would have at least contested anybody walking through. The Trailblazer does find Azzy though, so they have an idea of what's in front.
Clique know how many players are here, but they haven't fully bought into this rotate just yet. Will still remain Kurt towards C and having the alarm bot within range to make sure that B is under wraps for at least a moment. We're seeing here that Inox has moved through. This 1v1 with Rex could be round defining if he's able to get just a little bit, and the timing seems to be good enough. Inox finds the kill. Rex distracted by the position of Azzy, who's able to find one for himself, and now Jokers have a real chance. They're shifting it towards B. This would be an isolated duel onto Kurt, and there is your lockdown. Bully trades it out almost immediately as we expected, and they move it to post-plant Jokers, 5 versus 3.
Yeah, both teams need to evacuate this area, Hazza. It is going to be one of those zones that you don't want to be in at all. But remember, it's Jokers that can move in quicker than Clique, and they also have two-person advantage.
We also saw the from the shadows towards spawn. Comet understands that they've moved all the way back, so Jokers can look to challenge this up close and personal in the site itself. They tried to do so, but Inox will fall. Whisk finds the first, and this may be exactly what they need to have any half chance in this game. Time already running low. Whisk with yet another kill, but everything going in the opposite direction. Pull as you might, grab on as hard as you like. Jokers have taken a map off of Clique.
Yep, Hazza, they have, and at this moment in time, we are looking at a real upset on the cards. Remember, Jokers were 4th in the group of, I think it was A, or the opposite group of Clique anyway. Clique were number 1. This could be a little bit of a risky biscuits moment.
It certainly could, right? I think them picking up their own map, like I said before this game, there were those two eventualities. Clique run away with it, it looks dominant. Or we get that resistance from Jokers and they put the pressure on, which they did. Bully stepped up brilliantly in the early stages of this game. That was a foundation from which they built the rest of that plan. Now things are going to be feeling a little more settled. There were some nerves perhaps from them coming into this game as well, I think it's fair to say. Looking at what their track record had been, a couple of laboured efforts against Control and Swans and whatnot as they progressed through. In that 4th place, you know, not really topping the group or whatsoever, right? Making that real competitive run forward, but we're going to need a quick break after that one. A little bit of time to decompress, but when we return, we will be heading into Icebox.
Am I right to doubt? 'Cause I think we had it wrong from the start. Took goodbye, spit it out. When I saw you had a poisonous heart. So tell me if I say it loud, will you come alive? Will you hold me like you used to do? Tell me if I say it loud, will my heart survive? Will it beat the way it did for you, for you? See your eyes in different faces. It's bugging me out. Starting to get complacent. It's scaring me now. I can erase your lips. Still feel your fingertips on my skin. You come into my dreams. I wake up sweating here in my bed. In my bed. In my bed. See you smile on different faces. It's tripping me out. You ruined all the places where we went out. I can erase your lips. Still feel your fingertips on my skin. Yes, I can. You come into my dreams. I wake up sweating here in my bed. I can erase your lips. Still feel your fingertips on my skin.
I'm searching for some sunshine. Just need one ray through the dark skies. I gotta look for the bright side. I know we're gonna be alright. I know we're gonna be alright.
Welcome back, everybody, to EPIC38. I am Hazza, yet again joined alongside Cairo on the desk for what will be the second map in our first best-of-3 series on the stream. A game between Clique, the top-placed team, 7-0 at the time in their group, at least in terms of maps coming out the best-of-1s. But now they have been put to the test by JOKERS, the last-placed team, at least in the upper bracket, 4th place in the opposite end of things, coming into playoffs. And it was a 13-10 result on Lotus, a map which I'm not too sure what the comfortability was of Clique coming into things, but JOKERS definitely demonstrated it's one that they feel good on.
Well, we are going to be moving on to Icebox next, Hazza. So with that being said, moving on to Icebox, we've already seen it plenty of times today. We've seen it plenty of times throughout our casting careers. And that second map is one that doesn't have a lot of budging room within the comps that can be brought out.
Yeah.
But what I will say, there has been some developments in lock-in. Whether they come through is another thing to be said.
Yeah, I don't know. What real developments would you be looking at from lock-in as to different ideas that you'd really want to trial here? Because I think that the pool is still fairly shallow, like you said.
It is fairly shallow, but I would love to see the Harbour come in with a double control setup.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
Certainly, right? It's the double controller Harbour Viper. I think this is an idea which, if it will be trialled, is expected to be brought out by JOKERS just because of the precedent, on-brand, sort of meta pushing the envelope style of play that we expect from them, I suppose. I guess on the other hand, you did see a fairly defaulty setup from what they brought into it last time around. As we head into Agent Select, we will get an idea as to what this looks like. Clique starting out on the defensive side. JOKERS have an immediate opportunity to carry through that pace on their attack, but we'll have to see how that goes. Comet hovering the Rainer. Surely not. I'm thinking this might be the Harbour, actually.
Yeah, nope, it's going to be a Sage, unfortunately. It is exactly what we expected it to be in terms of comp. Hazza. No surprises at all. I wouldn't necessarily say that JOKERS had much pace coming into their attack, Hazza, because I think they struggled more on their attack when they were on Lotus.
I guess it was more figuratively speaking,
yes,
right?
I get
You're
that,
going from your attacking side back into your attack yet again. Perhaps a bit of time in the downtime to think things over. I saw as well that JOKERS completely vacated the LAN hall. They had went outside, of course, perhaps just to get some fresh air or, you know, less than fresh air, depending on what your approach is. But of course, they're going to be out there. They're going to have been out there. They've spoken things over. The one difference we do have to mention is that Azzy will be picking up the chamber coming into this, and that isn't all. Well, it's not really an expectation with how the meta has been, but this is a comp very similar to the one that we saw on Lotus then as well. You've got Bully being your Sentinel player, played exclusively Killjoy in every single match that they had in the Div 1 finals since the meta change, but is then paired up with Azzy, who I think fits this role better than he would if he was on a Jet, for example, right? Able to get more value by playing on the chamber.
See, this is something that I always wondered just before the patches that have came through in terms of nerfing chamber, was that are we going to just move into a no duelist meta with the fact that the Sentinels actually being the most important of all the agents, and it's coming through here for JOKERS with 3 Sentinels.
I guess you sort of go back to an old meta, one from 2022, 2021 really, if we look at when chamber was introduced. But yeah, Clique going with the same comp that we saw both Next in Line and also Control use in the game that they had there. I mean, it is the most standard comp to be playing on this map. Azzy really the only outlier, but in that pick of comfortability, starting things off, JOKERS do look to set that pace and get aggressive. Immediately walking all the way up towards 410 in terms of the control that they have. Comet posted up high from the zip, but they've moved back. Azzy has played this lurk through mid almost to perfection and now just needs the finishing touches and won't get it done.
Oh no, certainly won't.
Oh my goodness. It is a clean house in the end from Clique, other than the one kill which JOKERS were able to find in the midst of things. But yeah, just fluffs his lines. I think JOKERS wanted to hit a rotate, perhaps see if they could find a way to set Clique off balance there, get Azzy into the most favourable position to convert, and then maybe double back and go away if they had the picks later on. But yeah, that one has amounted to nothing.
Yeah, I was just getting ready, Haz. I was getting the gears grinded up. You know, you were as you were talking, you were what do you call it? Getting the little spinny crank round the back, getting ready to go for play by play.
Like little one of those push boats.
Yeah, exactly. And then it came and it went very quickly.
It did. Almost like that comeback on the previous map. I'm joking, of course, right? They did put up some firm resistance there, and I think Clique definitely have a point to prove coming into their own map pick, we should reiterate.
Yeah, exactly. This is...
And I think Lotus as well, right? Because it is such a new map, you know, not everyone's going to be prepared on it, and here we have it. Clique on firing form.
Yeah, exactly. They really are firing. At the same time, there is a caveat to all this excitement. The fact that, yes, Clique did win out the pistol, but they were both on even footing. This round, not so much. We do have a clear and set advantage between the two teams as he just misses out.
No.
Oh.
Just doesn't have the HP to work with in that situation. Yeah. Very, very easy for this angle to just get held down. Rex has moved over towards the Killjoy this time around, so won't be on the Viper. Like I said earlier, he's been flexing between these two agents throughout the tournament to net himself a high rating amongst his peers, and that's exactly why. A nice double kill to make it flawless. I said they had a full house last time. They do this time around.
They really do. Okay, Joker's turn now. Joker's turn to batter their opponents with as much force as they can, but I don't think there'll be much force there. The interesting thing, though, is Clique's buy. Yeah,
and it is a strong one at that too. Rex even brought up into the Phantom on the previous round as we saw it get used, and Whisk wants to do the same. The two Sentinel players making sure they've got a little bit more armor in their defense, something to work with. I mean, literally not armor because that is something in the game, but I think you get the idea. Immediately, one of those players, Whisk, will be escorting the Jet up in towards Nest on A. This one's already been seen out and be forced to turn away from it.
Yeah, I guess you could see a little bit more firepower in the arsenal, has it, potentially. But... okay.
It's getting late in the day. I think something interesting to note about the Jet player here is that it is Kurt, and he is not usually anticipated to be on this role, so he's a bit off-roll. Peter just in the corner and able to find that one to bully and turn away.
Already first pick found and already dipping out. The alarm bot confirms the re-aggression, or aggression I should say, on towards the B site wall up, but they're realistically gonna just delay. Getting that pick onto Rex is even bigger though, because that's going to be the turret down on towards this position. A nice placement of the wall, because usually you'd think the default on the left side, but no, it's planted further deeper. They can actually play with a little bit more space, but no, Jokers actually drop off even further. Yeah,
the decay leaves. There's a heal there to work with too, which will make things a little bit more breathable for Jokers because, they had just about enough beans to get the spike planted, but what is there to work with in the post-plant? First comes the recon, scan out a couple players, but as he's not in a position to capitalize just yet, Inox gets taken out. That's your yellow control gone, and recon's being traded is more information in the backline. Both players tagged out. Peter up to 3, needs 4 to close it and gets on towards the spike. That is half, but nothing more. Comet finds the kill and Jokers get on the board.
Yep, Comet doing massive work. The Viper of Peter having to commit to the defuse, unfortunately, has her. But if you are Clique, you are so happy with that last round.
I think so.
The amount of damage that you've done, like, I mean, we even have Halsey relegated to a Guardian and Light Shields.
I mean, you're about as happy as you can be for having lost a round, I think.
Yeah, true.
But you do raise an excellent point. It is that that buy is somewhat broken here for Jokers. The same could also be said for Clique. This round carries so much weight. It's effectively worth 2, at least in terms of the advantages that you could carry. Inox in with the pack, trying to just clamber through the middle of the map. But as they go under tube, they'll go even deeper. Below ground and back to spawn until the next round. As he trades it back, the op's in play, and Halsey doesn't care.
Disrespectful Hazard, disrespectful peek, and Halsey punishes it. Rex now still on the B site, giving away the information as they slowly start to walk away. There is the trademark placed. And it looks like it is going to be a re-aggression. It's been completely read into by Clique.
I mean, whoever rotates off here, you still have Rex with that swarm grenade, and I doubt that he will be the one to move from this position. That will delay any kind of a plant, so Jokers need to stick their neck out, look for a fight. They'll do it! Rex is down, Swarm gone, and so too is the player that had possession of it. Now this is a brilliant chance. They're going to double up, move back in towards together. But the retake is still a difficult one. Big investment from Azzy, and we'll need to find a return off it.
Not only that, though, Hazza, we've also got to look at Halsey with 2 shocks in pocket. Even bigger. The fact that we've seen the Tour de Force invested and it pays in dividends, massive amounts of dividends. The first shot goes, doesn't hit. The second, though, is going to be kept in pocket. It's all up to Peter against Azzy. In this position, the position is perfect.
Ooh.
But what's the time like?
I don't think there's enough, Cairo. Above your dulcet tones, the spike was inevitably ticking away and Peter won't get out.
That's big.
We already spoke about how busted the economy for both of these teams was going to be. I think Jokers, off the back of the spike plant, how the attacking economy works just a little bit better for you, will be in a position to invest, and I don't think Clique want to risk it either, knowing the potential that they're up against as we're seeing a full set of rifles come through here. But that is huge from Azzy and Halsey to turn it on its head. That was a 4 versus 2 situation, or 3 versus 2 situation, I believe it was.
I think as well, though, realistically we're back towards an anti-eco round with the way that the economy essentially is at this moment, except with a little bit extra in pocket. Again, Azzy really feeling the pressure here, and Clique are being really aggressive. Look at that space in mid that they've taken as well.
It is only temporary. We do see the rotate come back through just to make sure that Kurt gets back up to full HP. They are stuck in this position somewhat, Jokers. Not by choice, I suppose, but they don't really want to go back in towards mid and re-challenge for the threat that Clique had held on to that space. There is still a stack here, and that anticipation that Clique might look to go aggressive yet again. Make some kind of a re-clear, because while we have hindsight, there isn't too much information that they hold on to for the rest of the map, and that rotate does come through.
They're waiting to see what's happening on B, but there's been no information at all. Jamie in a massive position. Do they get the opportunity? Do they get the chance?
I mean, even here, you have to find 2 kills if it's to be big enough. I'm not sure they'll expect it. There's the first, but that is all. As he trades it out, and now the rotate looks to come through. Barely any time left on the clock, and there is an understanding that Jokers will have to hit towards the site. 4 versus 4.
Peter's toxins were actually really low there, Hazza. The wall coming down already, now the gun's coming alive. Rex, though, the first one to hit the trigger, the spike goes down.
The killjoy is huge, because just in that moment it felt like, okay, Jokers, you have the spike down. There's still a chance here to make it look a bit more winnable, even when you're down on numbers, simply because of the positions and weapons that they had. Barrier orb coming through. This needs to be dealt with. I don't think it has been. Kurt's just posted up. There's too many guns trained on the position of Comet, I believe it was. No, it was Rex actually instead getting taken out, and there we have it. Such a messy round in the late stages, but Clique are able to drag it over the line.
It's this scrappy behaviour that we're seeing from Clique, being able to continue to at least upset the economy of their opponents.
And because there wasn't a full invest. 4 Sheriffs and a Bulldog, all that they had to do there. We see, I believe it was Jamie up in towards Nest, finds 1 kill, and then you have so much of the site left yet untested. The Killjoy utility, the toxins, like you know, there weren't too many left, but just enough to keep them at bay. You walk into the crossfires and get taken out.
Well, location revealed by Whisk, just jumping away. And this is the thing though, Hazza. They've been completely baited into rotating here. Thinking that it is going to be a straight B take, but it's not as easy as that.
Both teams playing incredibly passive towards the A side of the map. Mid is where the action most likely to break out, and that it will. Trades back and forth. The player on Boiler traded. Peter will drop. There is a res for Jokers. So if they do want to double dip back into mid at a later date, there's a possibility. But I think the fact that this lingers on the mind of Clique means that we can actually just activate in this position. Instead, Bully to play a lurk later in the round. It looks like he'll get cleared out, and that will be the case. Rex finds the kill. Now we need to get a move on towards executing A.
Yeah, they really do. Spike going down now, location revealed. They know exactly where Kurt can be, and that is up on rafters. The players now coming and starting to stack together. A death ball forming on the edge of screens. The players now make the move, and that's a massive info dart. The head of Azzy taking clean off. The guillotine coming through. It's all up to Halsey. Well, it was all up to Halsey.
That it was, but he falls. 4-2, Clique are fighting back into this game as Sweet Caroline rings off in the distance. Things looking a bit sweeter for Clique.
It certainly is looking sweeter.
But so too is the buy for Jokers.
It certainly is. Now, let's think about what the Jokers were able to do on their Eco Hazard. They were able to at least get 2 rifles there, make things a little bit interesting, taking advantage. They tested a lot of the setup and how Clique are thinking about things, in terms of the fact that they were able to get Clique to rotate very, very quickly. Does that same thing happen again?
I'm not too sure. We have so many ults in play that could get used but haven't thus far. Whisk with the orb, wall goes up. There's a little bit of counterplay there, but all of this is doing is confirming to Clique that there are players sat behind it. Hunter's Fury invested to try and pluck one of them out of play, but even then it's so far back. If you take that kill, the res is your immediate response. So big ults already invested into this one from Clique. Even the Viper's Pit now perched up on A.
With the Viper's Pit invested in A, it has to be brute force on B. And Ox taking Jamie's massive. There is a lockdown invested in towards B, creating a massive space.
And you've lost your Hunter's Fury. Bring Jamie back on his feet, but that expired almost in the beginning of the round. Spike getting planted. What is there to work with in post? This Viper's Pit will be left. Hunter's Fury immediately invested as he challenging these players as they get softened up towards Snowman. But now the realization is there. Let's sit a little deeper, and I think Comet might be trying to double back for this res.
It certainly seems likely, or rather than double back for the res, double back for a flank through mid. There is the alarm bot still up though. If it goes down, that could be a massive situation. And this is a massive situation as Rex assaults in towards B long. The 2 players that are stuck in mid might just be a little too late. The attacker barrier orb still up, and they completely throw that round.
They throw it away, I guess you could say, as Rex throws some more bullets in the general direction of Jokers, every single one connecting for an ace.
Well, has it one thing that I want to talk about. Jokers had plenty of time to set up the perfect post plant, right?
Yeah.
And they went for the normal default. When you have the lockdown there, you have so much space. Why not take the spike plant a little bit deeper and set up for a place where you're going to have more space as the defenders of the spike?
You say that. I think Jokers were incredibly deep in the setup they had. They were just trying to buy time for that flank to come through from Comet. So much space left in mid to be re-cleared. And as soon as the res comes online, Clique know that they can just stick that because it's your last 2 remaining players in somewhere that they're fully unable to contest. No one playing for lineups, nothing like that to just stagger things and grind them down to a halt. And in terms of economy, it's been ground down to dust yet again. Sheriffs and the like to create any kind of a dent, but Clique now looking to be buffed out, refined and shimmering on every front, and it's always Rex that lights up the kill feed.
It certainly seems likely as he at least gets 1 back, but it's only 1. There needs to be at least 2, I think, for this round to be passable. And they can't even pick up the upgrade at the back of sight.
I think you ideally want to be finding Rex here as well. Not just the fact that he's been on an absolute tear, but not having that threat of the lockdown to play somewhere deep and retake in towards the site means you can sit up close on those angles where sometimes the Sheriff will win out if you're posted on a corner that goes left unchecked. And we'll just have to see. There's the opportunity. Halsey nearly having a half chance at it to pluck away the kill with the Marshal, but not going to happen. Jokers need to send it in here, and they will do just that. Bully finds one onto Jamie, but Rex is still alive. In through the backside. Finally, Halsey takes that pick. Operator shot goes astray. Kurt trying to immediately challenge. Everything going on in the site as we hit a boiling point. Barrier orb to go up, the wall invested, Halsey just firing away behind it. Surely not another round, which concludes in the same fashion as it did previous. It won't this time around. Azzy from the backline, whisking for 2! I have no idea how he does it, but there's just enough room to get it done. In fact, there's more than enough. Jokers just scramble at it, and it's that half chance which goes astray.
The chances for Jokers to win the 3rd is getting lower and lower hazard, and they need to get at least 3 for me to feel comfortable for the next half.
I mean, you say that right now, that they need at least 3. You'd hope that they get a bit more on attacker side at Icebox, to be completely honest with you. But right now, that was a great opportunity for them to find the 3rd.
That's my point, is the fact that they're having chances, they're having these moments where you're thinking to yourself, this is it, to at least get 3. That's the bare minimum that you're expecting from them.
Yeah. I mean, they set that precedent themselves. It was a great first map performance, but Icebox is Clique's home territory, where they feel most comfortable to pick up a map win. It's been in rotation for so long, Jokers are aware of this. It's a map that they'll feel comfortable on as well, hence the reason it's left in the pool. But right now, that comfortability perhaps not quite showing. Azzy, a player on an agent that he feels comfortable on, one where he is at home and has the tour de force. This is their full investment. The previous was a thrifty. That would have been the reason why it could have inspired that extra confidence and why it leaves us grasping for air.
Yeah, grasping for air, grasping for chances.
Sort of grasping at the air, you know?
Yeah, Azzy now slowly
trying to pluck something out of reach.
Yeah, Azzy with it, with the tour de force, does have the best weaponry to pluck something that is a bit too far out. But let's look at how Clique are setting up. The fact that they are so far out of the site and they're aware of what could be coming their way. Yeah,
they're sitting so deep as a result, right? Don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, as he's got a 10-foot pole, and when it rings off, it's going to be dangerous. Jamie finds the first kill. This is an interesting one. The Viper's pick goes down, Killjoy lockdown in response. Now you've got 2 different ways that you want to try and play it. I think Inox just has to buy time, because the pit here isn't going to be most ideal for what Azzy wants to do, but Azzy does what Azzy likes. Finds a kill onto Whisk. Only player detained, but the pit has now dropped.
This could be a bait though, because there's one player detained, but the rest aren't, and that's exactly what happens.
Peter's sticking it!
Oh my goodness gracious me, has it not again?
Oh no, not like this. Peter just holds 4. It wasn't planted fully in the open. There was just a little bit of cover to tuck the shoulder behind, and the round goes bye-bye, as did Peter in the corner. It's just the same mistakes coming back to bite Jokers, and you start to wonder when they can rectify this. I mean, look at the timeline. It speaks for itself. There is a story to be pulled out purely based on the icons I'm seeing. 5 sets of pliers, 5 diffusers in a row. Not all of them happening in the exact same fashion as that, but Jokers are bringing this to afterplants which they simply cannot convert.
And on top of that, Hazard, when does the timeout come? When do Jokers try and adjust their play style? Because realistically, we're just not seeing it at the moment. Again, another A hit with a lock out towards B. Is this just going to be contacting up and then leaving?
You've seen when Jokers have been playing good is when they're coordinated, taking the fight to their opponent. Why not get a bit more aggressive in the post-plant?
Yeah.
I think they've given too much respect to Clique on quite a few of these rounds after violating them by being the only team to have taken that first map.
Yeah.
I mean, go the extra mile. You have a free hit here because it is their pick, I suppose. This one, not so much of a free hit. Big investment put forward, and what can it get? A kill for Inox at least. He opens things up.
That was nearly a kill at Hazard, but I'll tell you what, Inox getting that second is huge. Rex at least pulls it back somewhat, but the spike is down and an alarm bot triggered elsewhere.
As long as he's alive, it's going to be a problem. Bullies triggered the alarm bot in mid, but then moved away. Look to join the rest of the team and play the numbers, which they have, at least for the moment. It begins to dwindle. Here is Kurt with the knives trying to chop up the site into fine little pieces. Finding out those players. Barrier orb is up. Don't do this again. Clique, we know that Jokers are going to be aware of this now, and they have finally broken some of that wall apart. Can they break the buy, though? I'm not too sure. Here's Kurt with another. Comet trades it back. 2 versus 1. Whisk for a chance again, but I think that time is too far gone at this point. Claims the kill, but won't take the round. Finally, Jokers get it, but there isn't a single soul left to tell the tale.
There is not a single soul left to tell the tale. The operator transferred through and towards the next round. Joker's economy might not be the best, but I'll tell you what isn't either: the Clique economy.
That it isn't. Which you find somewhat ridiculous with the amount of rounds that they have. The advantage of 4 now taken between these 2 teams. It's just because of how close every single one of them has been.
Yeah.
As the attackers, you're always going to have that little bit extra when you can get the spike down, and that's not been the problem for Jokers. It's just seeing it over the line.
I think as well, though, has another thing to talk about is how many rounds have we seen, for instance, at least 3 or 4, a majority of Clique getting through in towards that kind of post round. Yeah. It's not going to be. Already the Ops come alive as he gets one of their own. But at this moment in time, it's only 4 versus 4 and it's both Sages off the board.
Yeah. Oh. It's like a matador and a bull, except I don't know who the bull and the matador is right now and who has that little white, or that red sheet, I suppose, for lack of a better term. There we go. Truck sinks the horns in. That's one for him. And actually, this guy is definitely the one who's going to be dealing the most damage. 4 for Kurt. Bully finally getting one for himself, but I don't think this is exactly the same Bully that we saw in the previous map. And even though he's got a Vandal in hand, the spike is left from his grasp. It's a 3 versus 1, and even at that point, I don't think we saw Bully convert a 1vX. At least not at this magnitude.
And this is of massive magnitude, Hazza. Do you know the best thing is? Clique can just play keep away at this moment in time. They don't need to peek out, and they should not peek out. Bully still has the spike, though. He doesn't need to aggress, but is choosing to take this course of action. To take the course of action of go and win the battle. Go and win the fight, but Jamie peeks out and takes Bully out.
It's a difficult one there for Bully, I think. Because of the position of the spike, you automatically anticipate that whoever has taken up what the role of Kurt was in that round of having the op was going to be holding on to it because they knew it was dropped out in the open. That's the reason he doesn't decide to circle back, wants to find a kill instead and win it out on eliminations. But not to be the case. Another potential 8-4 half coming through for the chooser of the map. Icebox being the selection of Clique. Of course, Jokers went up 8-4 on that map, but the tone is different this time around. Jokers aren't in an upwards trajectory as it stands. They weren't down 8-1 either. It's just been very slow burn for them on this attacking side.
No, that A site has been vacated somewhat. The Jet just looking to aggress in towards mid, but Inox has got through mid completely.
I look at the footsteps. Jamie is just wandering around like a headless chicken, and both of them lose their skulls. Decapitated out in the open, and here comes Azzy with a stinger, chasing down Peter, and another one to Inox before things conclude. A flawless round from Jokers, potentially on the cards. Rex could ruin it just because I've said it, but the Caster's Curse doesn't activate. I tell you what will, a repeat of that first map. 8-4 is the half, and 8 towards the leader, the team which had picked into it.
Hazza. What? I genuinely think that it comes back to your point that you said earlier.
Yeah.
Where was the respect shown on that round? Absolutely none of it.
You find a gap, you go for it, right? And I don't think that was the point necessarily that I was even making there. It was more, when you go to a post plant, look for an extra advantage because of how much they sat back. But it also translates to what you're saying. You know, put your foot on the gas pedal. Yeah. This is your opportunity to do so. Go out all guns blazing if Icebox isn't your map.
Well, it certainly seems if Jokers are trying to make it an 8-4 half, very respectable in the grand scheme of things, and somewhat rescues the narrative that Jokers are the ones on the front foot in this whole series.
We also have to look at what the trade-off is in terms of agents. This is where Azzy now becomes huge on value, potential value with that chamber. You got a trademark, which will make things a little bit easier, but this round it's just going to be through the rendezvous, and that goes to do some damage. Already some taken out a Kurt. Headshot through the side of pipes, and Clique want nothing to do with this. They don't like the setup whatsoever, and they'll head towards B.
I guess on the other hand, though, Hazza, you're talking about Azzy being big. We've also got to talk about the fact that there is a Jet on the board, and Kurt's going to be even bigger on the attack.
Both teams playing to their strengths. Inox has plenty of strength left in and plenty of fuel to keep these players at bay. Shifts around to the other side of yellow. Needs to take a kill here and gets 2. Worth his weight in gold. Inox for 3. Still alive and kicking. Ruining the woes of Clique, who are still yet to really make it into the site. Another! A 4 for him, nearly an ace, denied by Halsey, snatched away. The 5th won't come for him, but it will for Jokers. Now within 3, finding the pistol round that they needed to make this one even more dangerous.
Hazza, if they win the next round, that's the lead half. And on top of that, the bonus, do the work there. We could be looking at a 9-6 half already, moving in towards a rifle versus rifle round.
I'll stop you there for just a second. I'll reel you back in. We'll have to see how this one goes. Like you mentioned, we still are yet to see what Kurt can bring forward on that duelist role with the Jet. His value can be big here, but it's only towards the end of the last half that he showed up. It bodes well for the direction things are heading in as he checking this one out and checking Kurt out of the equation. You can book a room for later, mate, because you're not needed right now.
Certainly not doing what they need to do. Remember, this Marshall is essentially an op in the hands. Oh my goodness!
Oh,
why were they able to do that, Hazza? How have they been afforded the opportunity? 2 players left. Yes, it's eco frags, but my goodness gracious me! Jokers are on a storm!
As he just buys the timing and with the accuracy, goes for it. Accurate as he finds the first here, right? And then it's just that choice to go back in. Jamie perhaps fluffs his lines just a little bit, but gets the double no-scope. Of course, you know, it does aim true when you're on the Marshall, but that's a nice piece to be taking. And then, look, you're only 3 away then from having that tour de force. You can keep cycling that and an operator. Look, he already has 4,000 credits in the back pocket. This is looking decent for Jokers, but yeah, that 9-6 you anticipated, yeah, probability.
There's a probability, but there's also a probability of an even worse scoreline if you're a Clique fan, Hazza. That is 8-7. This bonus converted. They are moving through the shorter of the combat angles through Clique, having to contest up against Spectres and the likes.
As he's gone for it. I can't believe it. I thought that timing would be so out there, but not going to happen. Trademark in place and happy to just play off of Inox's contact here. Or play off of the Trademark's contact, I should say. The cloud's gone down, but you can bring it back up as the fuel is now fully recharged. Spike not yet committed. I mean, there's no upgrades here to speak of for Jokers either. They are still playing within their means, but like you mentioned, A now a little more compromised. The Spike's still heading towards B, however. As he spotted the shoulder and taken the head with him. Even another one! As he for 3, second round in a row. And that could be 3 rounds on the board for Joker's defender's side. Clique caught out in the open. Not much time left to work with. And that Spike has been shrouded in Joker's players.
Hazza, I don't want to be the kind of the person that foretells doom, but I did see this could potentially be 8-7, and Azzy is the harbinger of doom at this point in time. If you're a Clique fan, my goodness gracious me, he's had to be a save in this round.
I said the tour de force could be coming online. Well, it's already there for you, and there are weapon upgrades for those players that were lucky enough to hang around the midst of Azzy, as this atmospheric impact is just unspeakable at this point in time. Clique hold on to what they've got left. Smart idea. No reason gambling for anything extra. Spike already way out of your grasp. The round not to be turned, but maximise the advantages you can have. Money, few and far between. You've got players who are looking to save up here. Players who may not even get a full buy, actually. If you lose your rifle in the next and there isn't a plant maybe even to back it up. And a great opportunity for Jokers to level things.
Oh, Jokers have so much in the back pocket though, Hazza. If they even it out, yeah, fair enough. But it's not only that though. Whatever Clique do, Jokers can just reinvest, go again. And Azzy has taken it. This is just disrespectful. This is just disrespect on their name.
Azzy is nay-naying on the grave of Clique right now. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but this guy is feeling confident. Yeah, you're up against Sheriffs on this round, so it's a little bit different, but the fact that he still wants to go for that when the idea is that there could be like 5 players posted up on the angle, lets the turret take the contact, and even then stays for a little bit longer than he's welcome, is huge stuff. Bully with an overextension there. Perhaps didn't need to chase, just wanted the information. Peter shuts him down, and this is where things could fall apart for Jokers.
Yeah. Could. But remember, Bully was the one with the Spectre, so it is almost fodder in terms of weaponry.
He was also the one with the utility, though. The alarm bot in towards mid and then the turret for kitchen. So this reclear from Halsey is imperative to how the Jokers are going to be setting up into the late stages of this round. An easy kill to find. Rex too many angles to clear to deal with, and Halsey makes sure that he's the one dealt with instead.
Remember, though, that was one of the rifles that was in the back pocket of Clique. So that's a big, big loss. As the players slowly move on towards B, I don't know if they'll know about this player in Snowman.
Yeah, you still have Inox passive Snowman. Yellow yet to be cleared. In comes Halsey, and out he goes. We're seeing a few mirror matchups come through here, and, well, it's to be expected with the comps that both teams have, but it's a 3 versus 3. There are upgrades on some of these players as he flicks again. This guy is untouchable so far from the defender's side. Gets a heal for his efforts too, and it seems as if every single factor that could be levied against Clique right now is turning against them.
Hazza, send one of the admins to check this man's PC. Check it all out.
Oh, hello.
But it's Hazy that's left, and we know exactly what Hazy can do. Although just sees the shoulder, looks the wrong side. Whisk collects the round. That's a massive one.
That is such a big round to be taking if you're Clique. Only 2 rifles into it. As he goes aggressive here at the start, it was a nice kill to find, but then pieces slowly fall apart across the board. Halsey, he's able to find one in kitchen, but then dies. Every single time you trade out 1 for 1 in this situation, it favors the attackers. Not even to do with the weaponry that's on the board, but the fact that when it gets as close as that, you go 2v1 post-plant, easy to see it out.
Big domino effect from when Bully got picked up.
Exactly. Because you lose the mid control. Halsey never has to challenge that angle if you still have the Sentinel utility posted up there, or at the very least, you know, if nobody then comes to challenge Bully again, because he took place of the turret while it was down.
Now, as this Soul drone gets sent forward through, just to collect some information, Comet is going to invest the barrier orb, which will give away a free ultimate orb, but at the same time you have that passive information.
Jokers just need to hold on here. Stop Clique from making it in towards the site, because if they can force any kind of a rotate, you've got Azzy in the mix, in the middle with the Tour de Force, cutting apart this push. So we do see the Sentinel player is well away from everything else that's going on right now. Rex uninvolved, just tasked with holding the flank and perhaps activating that later lurk, but here we go. Comet finds the first, does get traded out, and then Kurt is able to add just a little bit more. Clique not set on this hit just yet, but they are waiting.
Yeah. Salt goes into the wound ever so slightly. The Tour de Force entering in towards the site. A big lie in the res available, but my God, Inox has butchered it, has bottled it, it's crashed. As he has the opportunity, but the opportunity is fleeting once again. 1 player left. It's Bully Boy to do it all.
And it's Kurt to find them all. Only 1 away, a singular player left in his collection for this round. Bully's already moved in towards spawn, but just as he steps out, Kurt steps up. A shift of role from what we'd perhaps expected coming into this tournament, but if you had any question marks about what his jet could deliver, that is the answer that you were looking for.
Now, Hazza, as we look towards this round, Halsey has decided to invest it all, to throw everything in, going all in this one, throwing the kitchen sink at the wall, seeing if it can stick, because if it doesn't, well, I mean, there's going to be a big gaping hole in that economy.
I mean, I was going to say, I think if you threw a kitchen sink at a wall, it's either making a dent which it sits in nicely or a huge hole. Probably both.
Yeah.
And another way of putting it is that all of the chips have been pushed to the other side of the felt. A big gamble here, and Inox gambling a little more on taking that pick early on. Kurt gets healed off, still alive, still kicking. So too is Inox to defend the site.
Yeah, just playing with the life there. Close to the wall, ready to aggress if needed. Shock Dart goes through just to clear the close space. The Spam just trying to destroy this wall here. The barrier orb that has been invested.
It's a real war of attrition for utility. Finally, Clique get the opening they need. Not quite adjusted to find Whisker on the transfer. Finally, Inox connects. But we are into an after-plant situation. Nice positioning on this Poison Cloud 2 for Inox as he gets yet another kill. Wall goes up, and this should be the full stick.
It should be, but Rexy just came through, completely swung. Only 1 player left, and it's Peter! My goodness! He's found the frag on towards Halsey, but it's all up to an op. And the headhunter hunted down. Jokers answer back.
As he did go hunting, made sure to clear the close angle. Peter so worried about the compromisation of Yellow and that a longer swing would be coming around. As he also able to hold on to that operator economy. Ooh, a bit tattered and torn here if you are Jokers. They did throw the kitchen sink. There is a big hole and they can see the light on the other side, but you need to make a few more steps if you're to reach the end of the tunnel.
I was about to say, when does the light of the end of the tunnel come? Because for Jokers, it just seems to be never-ending darkness. They're constantly fighting back. They just perhaps saw the equilibrium start to get there, where everything was seeable, but at this moment in time it's not. Then Viper's Pit invested, and it is a big ultimate to invest.
Inox goes top 410, drops it down, and now has an ult to work around with for 8. As he's posted up in mid, yet again trying to cut apart what the push is. It's going to be an off angle. The two remaining players that are separated from the team have to cross from the right side. He's not accounted for it. The flick isn't there either. A singular point of health. Headshot through the wall, not just enough damage to topple that man who's been at the top of the Joker's scoreboard, but it's 5 versus 5, not looking ideal. You really do want Comet to go back and find a heal here, and nice use of the Hunter's Fury to slow things down, and yeah, make sure that that Viper's Pit is still your first line of defense.
Oh, don't do it, Comet. Don't get too aggressive.
Look at Azzy.
Yeah, Azzy finding Rex, but he's found Comet. That might leave the Viper just that little bit vulnerable, Hazza.
He's pushed all the way into the back line. The guy has 1 HP, but he's looking to try and find some kills and nearly treated to it. Gets another and a headshot. How has he possibly gone away with 3 on 1 HP? I do not know. But Jokers have an advantage that they need. Kurt sent it straight to the wall. This is their kitchen sink sort of ultimatum as the Blade Storm gets popped. There's a player left in wait. The shock dart is too late. The nano swarm already up and only 15 seconds left. Halsey's got yet another one yet to be released from the quiver as the recon comes to try and clear. Bully's there to clear them out. Instead, Kurt is now gone. A 3 versus 1 and Bully for another. We're back within 1.
I never knew, Hazza. I never knew they released a new Terminator, because that's exactly what Azzy is. 1 HP, they literally limping, didn't have any chance in hell. It's the headhunter pullout, just a tap, the head goes.
It's one of those ones where as a caster as well, you have so many repetitions. I'm watching games like this, it slipped my mind. I wasn't even looking for Azzy to be in that position in spawn, because you're at the understanding, okay, he's 1 HP, Comet's on A, not too far for that rotate through mid, getting back up to 100. Doesn't care. Complete disrespect. It's what we asked for, it's what we get. And Jokers may just be getting a few more rounds if they stick to it, but Clique change up the pace immediately with this mid push.
Speaking of disrespect, it's straight in towards Kitchen, and well, if you are Jokers, let's look at the setup here. There's nothing to contest, there's nothing to give information, and Cut already all the way down, going on towards B, but look at the reposition from Bully.
You only have to really be looking at Rex's position in B long as to whether Clique can get too much done here. That Viper's Pit will be huge for the post plant, but they're still incredibly restricted in terms of space. If Bully can find just enough room to get a lockdown invested without Rex cropping up on his backside, that would be the perfect eviction notice for the players that do stand in this position. Bully has found that kill, and now it will compound the pain of Clique, who are stuck in this position.
That's a big ultimate and a big play all in all from Bully as he gets another. There's Jamie gone. It has to be the Viper that they need to get, and they'll get it. 1 player left, and it's gone. Whisks away, and we go even on the scoreline.
And that was, what, 3 ultimates? I believe it, 2 ultimates invested from Clique. You had the Viper's Pit, and then just as Jamie pops the Hunter's Fury, we see Azzy get involved and snatch that one straight away from him. So a lot put forward. I mean, some ultimates of Joker's own, but very well placed. That lockdown's so good. And like I said, Rex is the only player you have to worry about if you're Bully in that situation. Terminate him, and you have a great counteraction. Here is the time out.
Well, as the players look to settle, I guess we should maybe bring their tones
down. We can.
Try and reset, mate, because, again, an eco for Clique. There's already an idea of investing in towards a Guardian, and I don't know if I want to put a question mark on that just yet, because we've yet to come out of timeout.
It's a low investment, and it's not going to get much better than this if you're Clique. You simply don't have the funds. I think there is somewhat of an expectation they concede this next one to Jokers, and you have to fight your way back down from 11 rounds. The next one is then, you know, map and series point, different story, but you're building towards the next. Create whatever you can here. Yeah, there's no real ults to speak of either. Viper's Pit, that was your big play on the previous. Hunter's Fury, you know, to deal with that lockdown, and yes, you throw it on the round because you want to deny any threat that Jokers have of picking that one up.
I think as well, on top of that one, on top of everything, the one thing that we need to talk about is the kind of effectiveness that we've had from ultimates. Both teams have invested equal amounts of ultimates. One team is the one that's been winning the rounds.
Yeah. 20 rounds played, 10 apiece. Second map, Jokers looking to create what would be the upset of the tournament so far. I guess when we look outside the group stage, certainly in the playoffs when it's fourth versus first. The tunes are thumping in the background. You simply cannot ask for more than this. Clique will be looking for a lot more, however, as they don't have the investment they would have wanted.
Yeah, well, Mil has he, as he is on fire. Oh, Clique terrified. That might be the case as the execute starts to come through, but ever so slowly, not a full commit just yet.
Not just yet. Sitting behind those walls and smoke screens. Does everything go up in mirrors? Look at Azzy's position. Already cleared up so much of long, you can just leave the rest of your players here. Still an alarm bot for mid. Bully doesn't have to worry about that. Comet is activated in the site, takes down Whisk, and that's the first one gone. The first chance to plant the spike has been disrupted, and as they pile in one by one, it seems to be easy pickings here for Jokers looking to claim their 11th.
Yeah, the body pile just gets larger and larger. The Guardian was invested, Hazza, and on top of that, Bully just running and gunning.
Yeah.
This next round, if Jokers win it, it's all over.
It's those sort of huffs of smoky air trails out of the barrel of the Phantom, like the sniffing nose of a hungry rat searching for his last little piece of cheese, and Bully will claim it from the corner. 11 to 10 Jokers are up. Go on, give us your best Wallet and Grommet impression, because I'm seeing you shaking the hand.
Cheese, Grommet, cheese.
Never again, never again.
Well, in terms of what's happened, this ultimate cycle for this half is done. And now it's all about what's left. And there's one res for Jokers. They have the ace in when it comes towards this 2 hands for the round. Jokers, if they win it, they essentially could put themselves into a situation where they can win the map. But not to be the case. Clique have other ideas.
Looks as if they have decided to bring quite an investment into this round in the end. There are weapons for them to use, and here is Kurt, finds onto Bully, things looking better. Another chance to find a kill. Comet already softened up a little bit. Off angle for the repeat, drops down, more predictable for Truck, but still able to get it. Has a res online, it's a 3 versus 4. Res also available for Clique, but that player I should say in the form of Kurt is just so far away. Not much time left here into the retake, but they'll try and get it done. Try as they might. Whisk is there. 3 for him. Halsey trades it out off the back of Util. I think it was the vulnerability from their teammate Snakebite, which actually doubled the damage and created that death sentence. But the main thing is there, Clique, they test mid again, and this has been a fairly decent point of success, at least to bring it to a post plant for them.
Well, Hazza, we are guaranteed every round of regulation, whether that means we go to overtime or whether we have a winner. It could be the winner for the full series, whether it's the winner of this map, I do not know.
I mean, I've not even thought about that third map just yet, because more than anything, it's how this one expires that could, really be the test. I think it's going to be harsh on Jokers, whichever way you look at it, if we do go to a third, but they have a chance now, this time, to bring it up to 12. The second opportunity to do so. Azzy in the corner. Looked to be held by Kurt, but has backed away. Doesn't fancy the 50-50 when the op is holding. Pika's advantage or not, it all goes out the window. Not fancying it this time around, and B is where things begin to mount for them.
Another thing to talk about, Hazard, that I've not even touched on, is the stamina of these players.
Yeah. It certainly is. I mean, how many best of ones have they already played today? So many maps taken up. Inox takes a kill, and it's traded out there for the res. Rex is in through Kitchen. I was wondering when this duel would take place, and there was so much util for Bully to work with. It's not come to fruition, however. Jamie getting that one onto Inox. It's a 5 versus 3. I don't think Jokers want this. They're going to play for overtime.
Hazza, That is a big call, but I think the reason why they're playing for overtime...
It's the big boy call.
It is the big boy call. It's the fact that they know, or they have the confidence, right, we can play for overtime, we can win it in overtime. I mean, and on top of that, you've also got to think of the buy for the last round. See if they send it and they go in with scraps, they want to go in with the full might of the roster.
Yeah. More than anything, you want Azzy's operator in play. That has to be priority number one. Then you're left with 2 players to free roam on those Vandals. And yeah, as the economy comes up, thanks to our wonderful observer, the economy is just not really enough to rebuy in fully on the remainder of the players. Then you've probably only got 1 player left, I think, with a rifle to use, and that's a 1 versus 5. As much as Jokers have to back themselves, you're not winning that out. So a big call has been made, but when you pull apart this round, Cairo, it is yet again, I think, you know, Rex coming in from the back, dismantling the setup in Kitchen is what makes the retake nigh impossible.
We are going to get a Joker's timeout. But how many 1 versus 1s were gifted towards Clique? Whether they were actually 1 versus 1s or situations in which Clique were able to do the best of what were given to them. I mean, for instance, the fact that we saw Inox just peek it out on towards orange or yellow, whatever the box is, it just peeks out far too much and there's far too many rifles facing them.
Think of that patch of 4 rounds that we saw as well. How many of those rounds did we have Azzy immediately involved in causing issues? What has changed from Clique on their attack is they are playing vicariously through the use of that owl drone. A couple of the times that they've gone B, it's always that first point of contact. Azzy's posted up in the corner on A, and even then, we saw it on the previous round. The owl drone is the first one to challenge. They're moving as a unit, Rex playing away from the rest of the pack. If A doesn't work, he then moves into that mid lurk, and we've seen it a few times now where Bully has been picked off from that Kitchen position, or whether it's on a rotate, whether it's him, you know, anchoring that position in the mid map as a whole. I think this is an area which Jokers really need to consolidate, because in that sort of mid to late round, when they're looking to retake, not having control of that area of the map has been a real downside.
Right, as we move in towards this one, in terms of ultimates, the one thing that we can take away here is the biggest one.
Yeah. That is going to be the lockdown for Bully. An opportunity for him to do something passive on impact, perhaps. The setup is the Killjoy turret will be in Kitchen, but there's no player here this time around. It's been left empty. Instead, he'll just be playing next to Boiler, looking underneath to see if there's anyone there.
Eldron just clearing things out. Does maybe catch Peter there? I don't know if they have. As they try to get by, the spam does come through, doesn't quite connect, but there is an idea.
Clique building ideas towards going on this. A execute Comet's wall up behind the toxic screen, gets shot out. Information that players are starting to make their approach, and they've played this passive. Jokers have the ultimate, but I think Clique are understanding this and then making sure that they're using the double lurk in through mid to counteract it.
Yeah, but look at Jokers.
They back off.
Yeah, Jokers are understanding this as a player on Boiler, which is Halsey, and he's denying everything at that moment in time. They're already in. They could go on towards us. They've even got a detain.
And I think this could actually just be a stick. Who is there to challenge? There's no utility. It's only the snake button. There's no poison cloud to follow it up. Buys a little bit of time. The spike already halved. Inox in the corner should be able to stick this one through. Player on rafters down! And that should be the round. Jokers get it. The faith was put in round 24. We go to overtime.
Hazza, 24 rounds is not enough to actually pick out a winner. We have infinite overtime. Remember, it has to be 1 out by 2 to get the winner. We're even getting a timeout by the side of Jokers as they want to sit down and talk about what they want to do in the attack. Because you've also got to remember, their attack was their worst half.
We saw that timeout invested, you know, only 2 rounds ago as well. And it was towards the end of the attacking half, which really Jokers looked a little bit better in that situation. But it's a clean slate. Wiped flat now for both of these teams, and it must be said, in terms of what Jokers can do on the attack here and what there is to pull apart from, I mean, where Clique fell short, or where they found success at least to sort of fight back into this game in many respects, was that presence through mid. I think on the last round that we saw, it was the lockdown, and then I was perhaps expecting them to then move off of that as well, but the fact that they were playing 2 through mid also meant there was no one to defend the spike when it got planted. So it's a mixture of 2 ideas. It's really interesting reactive play. the minds on both ends are just clattering off of each other right now. And as you have highlighted off camera, but on screen, the viewers can see it and so can we. Azzy is buying up into the attack op. It worked for him on defense, but can he do it on the opposite end?
One thing to be said about Azzy, it is a glass cannon, so it's realistically 3 bullets from a Vandal, 4 from a Phantom. And I was just going to say one more thing, Hazza. Azzy essentially played it in like the op in an aggressive position on defense. I mean, translating on attack won't be that hard.
Glass cannon. Mate, he was a paper cannon on 1 HP and still found 3 kills. Did have a headhunter that time around. Won't here, of course, because of what that investment is. Just have to see how this one goes. Already they know it's in play. Went for the immediate challenge towards mid, and I think that was the best chance he was going to get at finding that kill. But look how aggressive Clique have become on A. So much control taken in Nest. Needs to be re-cleared. The op perhaps not the best to do it as the Aldrone is sending up B. Jokers are just looking for that pick. They're playing through the op to get their opener.
They are playing through the op, but look at this. They don't know, Hazza. They don't know. There's Cut. Gets the first. At least traded out.
Good trade.
At least traded out. And the only thing is, though, they've lost out on Bully. That's a big player to lose out on.
Yeah.
Big control to lose out on.
A lot of control has already been given up on B, however. I think Jokers have done the work necessary that they needed to here. We have Inox posted up, getting ready to move towards yellow, as the rest of those teammates will join them. As time ticks on and Clique want to fight back some more themselves, we are seeing mid, and this is a big angle for Azzy to hold. You just need the spike down on B now, and Azzy could be huge. That's your round.
That KG cannot get through mid. The KG has to have the Viper Orb activated, and it won't happen because that is the attacker.
There it is.
Azzy gets the pick. That's massive advantage taken. And now Azzy can also look through mid and challenge the spike.
Doesn't need to, right? Just the fact that he was there earlier is enough. His shadowy presence encapsulates the server, covers it dark, and now he's moved on to join with the rest of his teammates and hold down these longer angles as Clique try and move through. They don't have the numbers, but they still have util. Pressed all the way back, the Poison Cloud is there. Shots coming through, Whisk getting it. The post plants were where Jokers fell short. That was the Achilles heel of their attacking side. They need the spam because the defuse is coming in, but it is a 2 versus 1, and Azzy closes. 1 away, Jokers, on series point.
One more round, Hazza. One more round. One more Azzy play away from confirming Clique down to the lower bracket run. We were talking to players earlier, and they were telling us Clique are going to be the ones to send control to the lower bracket. It will be us and Clique in the upper bracket final. Mate, you won't even see Clique near any final.
That does sound a little bit toxic, it must be said. And I think through
that.
the process of deduction, people can probably work out who it was exactly that you were talking to. However, looking at the situation now, I mean, Jokers have crafted this brilliantly. Coming into it, Clique hadn't dropped a single map. But against the 4th best team, at least on paper, in the reverse group, they're looking to take it 2-0. Well, B is the choice this time around.
Has it. Well, you're saying that, looking to take it 2-0. I mean, is it one more round and we could be in another overtime, 2 more rounds after that, and then we could be in a 3rd map?
But if there was a way for it to close out right now, on Joker's terms and conditions, it would be through Azzy yet again. Posted up on the angle, with the operator in hand. Name a more iconic duo, I bet you can't. It would be him hitting the shot perhaps, misses, still has the rendezvous, and Comet's done some big work. Ooh. Finally the shot will elapse. Nothing found, but some damage dealt. Jokers have their lead and they can fall into these deeper crossfires now.
I think the fact that they can drop off into the deeper crossfires is massive. They can now just play for the post plant. There is the lock through B,
yes, there is.
I think Inox is somewhat ready because they've not moved entirely.
It's become realised here now. It seems as if they do want to play through Peter. It's such a late call to be making, but we'll have to see if it pays off. Jokers are scampering elsewhere. Inox has seen it. Peter's in towards Snowman. Halsey anticipating. Spike needing to go down. A denial here could be enough, but Peter is taken away. 5 versus 3, and they're just trying to get in place to assist Whisk.
Cut with an opportunity, and that opportunity becomes realised. Jamie supporting from Kitchen as he needs to be aware.
They're still so far away.
That's massive. They can just hold it for the defuse. One player left. It's all up to Kurt, but he's gone. Clique are gone. They're into the lower bracket. Joker's upset.
Jokers wipe the smile off of Clique's faces, coming in undefeated. They take them in a swift 2-0 fashion. Brilliantly battled from front to back, and there we have it. The result of the day, the final match that we had left to show you, and we can hear them across the LAN hall. What a performance. It goes up in raptures. Blow for blow, some serious plays on both ends.
Yeah.
Azzy, Kurt, Inox, Rex, back and forth every single time, but they're able to get it over the line.
Hazza, 33-16. Azzy coming through monumental. A Sentinel, he is the Sentinel. The Sentinel of Jokers. I can't believe that. I watched that. I thought the Chambermaker was gone.
He's him. He is him. I'm gonna walk up to the desk in a minute, and he's gonna have a headhunter in his pocket. He is that guy, quite simply. A ridiculous showing there in the end from Azzy, proving that, look, if it works for you, go for it, right? Don't change yourself for somebody else. If you want to play Chamber, you can. And there we have it. Delivers when it mattered most. And I really don't know what else there is left to say. That one shakes the balance, and now Clique have to make the lower bracket run if they want to survive in this competition.
Well, there is a few things to say, Hazza. I think thank yous are in order for a few people. Cara, especially, the Observer, did a massive job catching all the kills. The producers that we've had today, kind of intermittently.
Yes.
And on top of that, the viewers that have been watching us, we close out day one.
We do close out day one in serious fashion. I'll leave that one to you, the viewers. It's your own interpretation, whether you're in the LAN hall or sat at home. I hope you've enjoyed the matches. We still have a day or so worth more of competition. The finals on the Sunday morning, and, well, some more games tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, 10 AM, twitch.tv/EPICland2. I've been Hazza, joined along with Cairo, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Standing.
Bye.